All right, we'll do it live. Come into the room, please, and we'll do it live. Come into the room, 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 come into the room. Okay. Come into the room, please. Okay. We need to talk about some things. I wanted to get out a very important video today, but that might come tomorrow because, I just got something on my mind. Well, speak on it, girl. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to speak on it. What's on my mind? True divestment hurts. All right, something else that hurts. Pretty. All right, pretty hurts. Okay. There are things that people want in this life. There are things that people talk about and take for granted. And the truth is that they hurt. Okay. I'm gonna be very real with y'all on this video because that's what I do. I don't get on here to lie like a lot of other people. Okay. Because then when you lie, you have to track your lies. You see, that's why I hate a liar, because they're not as smart as they think they are. So I want to start first with the definition of divest. The definition of divest, according to America. Okay, not according to BWE YouTube, but according to America. What is the definition of divest? Well, to divest is a verb. And what is a verb? An action word. Okay? So if you didn't know that, you're not divested. Close your laptop up now if you didn't know what a verb was. All right? A lot of people don't know what a verb is. Okay. To divest means to deprive someone of power, rights, or possessions. Okay? An example of this: men are unlikely to be divested of power without a struggle, right? So if you wanted to divest, if you wanted to deprive men of power, you wouldn't be able to just go online and talk about how you've deprived men of power and you did it and you achieved it. There would be some type of struggle involved for you to get that, to divest, to take away. You understand? So what DanieSteel did was I divested from everything that no longer served me. And I am the originator of that definition of divestment on YouTube, in case you didn't know. All right? I'm the first person that I know of that said that. I didn't hear nobody else say that, and then I said that well over almost 2 years ago. You can go back and look at the video, what divestment means to me. So I divested DanieSteel from Blackistan. I divested DanieSteel from anyone. Red and yellow, black and white. I don't give a fuck. From anyone that thinks that they're going to take advantage of me or manipulate me or use me or try to subjugate me. Yes, I did. That's not easy. That required struggle. Okay? And it required struggle I didn't choose. Let's be clear about that. Because I understand a lot of women become divested after they give birth to a Dusty's baby. And I'm sorry to put it that way, right? Like, your baby has a dusty father. My deadbeat was a dusty. It happens. Okay? Doesn't reflect who your child is. A lot of women become divested after they've given life, legacy, birth birthed a whole other human being, they divest, right? They've decided that experience, which I can only imagine. I can only imagine. We saw the video of that Black woman, I believe it was on Paris Milan's channel, who gave birth to a Dusty's baby for the second time, knowing he was a Dusty after giving birth for him the first time. And I'll be real with it. She reminded me of someone else I knew, another dark, because we're the same complexion, me and that woman in the video. And when I was in foster care, there was one of my foster women. Again, if you're new to my channel, you might not understand that I call them foster women. I don't call them foster mothers. They didn't mother. My world's here. Hey, girly. Hey, Sammy. Welcome. Good to see y'all. Percy. Hello, beautiful Danie. I'm a new sub. First time catching you live, and I wish I would have met you before you divested. That's very nice of you, Percy. That's very nice. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Okay. Very nice of you. I appreciate that. I've never been told that before. I've been told a lot of things. So that's interesting. Thank you, Percy. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining. You know, I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not gonna be able to keep track of all of the comments as I'm going along because I got a lot here. I got a lot that I want to say and then hop out of here. You know what I'm saying? But I'll definitely try to catch, you know, a comment or two in here as it pertains to this live. Okay. And again, this live is about how true divestment hurts, right? Pretty hurts. It hurts. Okay. Pretty hurts and true divestment hurts. So again, going back to the definition of divest, according to the dictionary, to deprive someone of power, rights, or possessions. Well, unfortunately, Black folk don't have a lot of power or rights. Okay? So the possession that you can deprive Blackistan of is yourself. And you have to be, I would dare say, a person of quality to achieve that, right? So I know off the top of my head, I can think of this Black woman that I know. She's never done anything a day in her life. This Black woman that I'm thinking of right now is early 40s, going on 40. Never done a damn thing a day in her life but exist and eat ramen noodles. Right? I'm thinking of this Black woman, not even smart enough to be a scammer. Most Black women that don't go to college and don't acquire a skill set to make a livelihood of, a lot of those Black women you'll see, you know, are scammers, top scammers, top. All right? They're scamming you right now here on YouTube. Y'all buying it. Trust me. Okay? This girl wasn't even smart enough to be a scammer. Okay? So if she was online saying she was divested from Blackistan, that would be false because she's not taking anything out of there. She's not depriving them of anything. And last I checked, she still lives with her mama, so she's still in Blackistan. Anyways, true divestment hurts. It's just so interesting to me to see people talking about this topic. It really is. Because if you look at their lives, if you look at their backgrounds, and it's the most popular ones talking about it, there's a baby out of wedlock somewhere in there. It is what it is. It is what it is. A lot of Black women have a child out of wedlock with a Dusty, right? Because let's be clear, only a Dusty would watch a woman give birth and didn't have the manhood to put a ring on her finger to go down to the courthouse. It would have been about $40 to $80, depending. You don't need rings to do it, but if you needed a ring, you could have just bought any old ring. Only a dusty individual would watch and or, because most of them ain't there, right? Know of a woman giving birth. Okay? When you've seen the videos of these men hooked up to the cramp machines, they can't stand a cramp. But it's just cool that someone put their life on the line. Pregnancy and giving birth are both very difficult on a woman's body. I had this talk with my cousin last night. I'm so happy more Black women are open to divesting. You know what? Good for you, KG3. Because I asked the question in the poll, do you talk about divestment outside of social media? And the last I checked, 75% of y'all said no. That just further proves how few people are actually divested. That's like a Jehovah's Witness saying, how many of you talk about being a Jehovah's Witness in the real world outside of social media? And all of the people being like, none of us. Then you're not a Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witnesses testify. That's literally what they do, right? Testify and click up. That's another topic for another day. Yes, I come from a Jehov on the daddy side family, so I'm well aware of the Jehov lifestyle. Thank you. Grew up going to the whatever you call those churches that Jehovah's Witnesses go to. Reading the Jehovah's Witnesses books, insane. Okay, there's a lot of videos on here of Jehovah's Witnesses divesting. When I see, this is another way how you know I'm divested. When I started talking about divesting, I had a lot of white women being like, what's that? Y'all know how Becky do. They were like, what? Something I need to jump up on? Something to do to these Nikas, right? And I was like, oh, hold on. I don't think that y'all can divest, right? But there is one way that a white person can divest. And, in that way, I would say even my husband is divested, okay? And that is because he's removed himself from this significant power structure. He can never take away the fact that he will be given privilege. He can't stop that. Okay? He can't stop it. Please don't try. Okay? He can't stop that. But what he can stop is giving what he has into that power structure. And for him to divest from family and friends who no longer served him, who did not respect his relationship with his wife, did not respect the decisions he made as a man, he's divested from that. He don't associate with nobody like that. I need to run and get a bottle of water really quick because I already know I get a little mouth dry here. So give me 30 seconds and please like and subscribe while you're in the room. I'll be right back. All right, back. Okay. Let's see. My world says I'm uploading a video now talking about how lonely true divest. Oh, really? Wonderful. I can't wait to check that out. Y'all go ahead and check out my world's video as well. Unlike a lot of the women in here talking about black women, black women, black women, black women, black women, black women. Okay. I'm actually about that life. As you guys know, one of the black women content creators that I support 100% is our girl Chrissy. And Chrissy, you know, shouted the fact that I have a YouTube channel out when I was on one of her panels. And, you know, I rocks with Chrissy. I rocks with my world. If I rock with you, I'm going to shout you out, period. I don't care about this competition bullshit. Me and my world are two different people. We've got two different experiences, and you can gain from listening to both of them. So that whole fucking competition bullshit is garbage. Okay? Because one, you can't compete where you can't compare. People trying to competition, bitch, you don't compete with me. And once people find out who I am, that's what they don't want. Because then what you're going to see is that there's no way this person can be divested when there's somebody over here walking the walk and talking the talk. Okay? And my world is the same. She walks the walk, she talks the talk. Oh! Boom! Y'all mad? Y'all mad? You know what? Oh, Lord. My world, you done gave him something. You done gave him something with that. You really have. I might touch on it later, but I might not. It's hot. It's hot. Definitely go check out my world's video. Definitely. I'm looking forward to it, my world. Kingdom Hall. Thank you. Okay. You think church service is long? Go to Kingdom Hall. Okay. They don't have one Bible. They got a stack of books. They got picture illustrations of white Jesus all over. Okay. I told y'all before, I spent a month in Italy. Okay. When I got married. Spent over a week in Rome. Heard of it? My husband was frying in Rome. Okay. Every time he went outside, I heard a. I'm like, what the hell is that? This nigga's a full-time vampire. He's sitting up there pointing out places to go that had a lot of shade. He's like, wouldn't you like to go somewhere with a lot of shade? I was like, no, baby. The world is my oyster. I'm built for this. You know, but of course, you know, I had to take care of my man. So we had to compromise. Okay. But the point is, ain't no way that you need sunscreen in Rome, but Jesus was white like my husband in Israel. You understand that? Everywhere you go, you need sunscreen. Ain't no way there was no white Jesus there. Okay? So, they're tired of these. I brought this up 5 years ago, and my girls looked at me like I was crazy, but now we're open to not being, oh, okay, I can't wait to see what the future lies. Oh, okay. They're tired of You know, I've told y'all a story before. You know, I've had a few black women who I said, you know, why don't you date out? What we gonna talk about? Well, maybe you could talk about how your bills are paid. That's a nice conversation. I like to talk about how the bills are paid. Maybe you can talk about going on vacations. What we gonna talk about? And, you know, these type of women are telling me, I'm tired of, you know, I'm like, why do you always have an attitude like with your man? Like, that's something that I'm not used to. You know what I'm saying? So like, why do you always have an attitude with your man? That's what these dudes is coming on here talking about. I can't relate, because if you choose right, you won't have a constant attitude 24/7 with your man. So I'm like, why do you always have an attitude with your man? I'm tired of going 50-50. So you should have never went 50-50. It's not a day in my life I went 50-50. Okay? When I was an undergrad, Winston asked me, I should never tell y'all, but I did. Anybody knows me knows I grew up with Winston. Winston Duke. He asked me for $5 when we were in line. And I said no. I said no. And he was like, what? You're not going to give me $5? I was like, no. Because I don't have it like that. I mean, come on. You know, I grew up in foster care. You have a mom. You have an older sister. I'm the one that got to take care of my siblings. I don't have $5 to give to you. He was so mad. He was so mad. Okay. That probably, you know, he can believe that shit. He was like, wow. Wow. I don't give men money. All right. And I'm going to make another video later about what you should give male friends. But the answer is nothing. Because if you look around, look to your left, look to your right, you'll notice that a male friend ain't going to give nothing to you. Okay? Men only are willing to part with their resources for women that allow them to sleep with them. Understand that. And their resources includes their time, their attention, any little change they got, etc. Okay? Yeah, he did ask me for $5. $5? I ain't got it like that. And that's just point blank, period. If a man asks me for money, I ain't got it like that. So, talking about investment in my community is just opening a can of worms. Anything that shines light on dysfunction is usually met with vitriol, and I choose peace. Sammy is young, but she's very smart. I'm going to read that again. Talking about divestment in my community is just opening a can of worms. Anything that shines light on dysfunction is usually met with vitriol, and I choose peace. And you know what, Sammy? You're wise beyond your years. You have every right to choose peace. You have every right to do that. That's what I'm on right now. That's what I'm on right now. But when I was your age, ooh, baby. All right. A lot of women say, I used to be a pygmy. I never used to be a pygmy, baby. I never used to be a pygmy. So come on and follow somebody who's been about it from day one. But what I was a mule. Okay? And I mean, you know, just trying to help people, trying to make people see the light. Me and my great-grandmother, it was us against the world. And Sammy is from South Africa. Okay? I try to say it the way Leonardo DiCaprio said it in Blood Diamonds. South Africa. All right? Sammy's from South Africa. So, as you can see, this is a global problem that isn't limited to the men of the community. It's not limited. Welcome, please. Thumbs up and subscribe if you're in the room. Appreciate you. You have to subscribe to comment, so you might as well get it done. Okay. Sammy, again, very well said. And that's exactly what we're going to be touching on in this video. That's how I found you. You were on Chrissy's panel. Shout out to Chrissy. Put some hearts in the chat for Chrissy. If you know Chrissy and you love Chrissy, put some hearts in the chat for Chrissy, please. Please. Because Chrissy is really one of the only women on here that is looking out for Black women. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest with you. Thank you, Athena. I know y'all gonna put some hearts in this chat for Chrissy. Okay, come on through. We appreciate you, Chrissy. All right. All right, you see that, my world? Put a link in when you get a chance and let the ladies know your channel. Guess what? I spent New Year's with Winston and his Black girlfriend. Okay, and she was a pretty girl. Okay. But I just want y'all to understand, you know, he's been a long time childhood friend. And yeah, she was a beautiful black woman. Yes, he did. So even though that was before he was with the girlfriend everyone knows him with, okay? Winston loves women. Okay, Winston loves women. But what we see when men attain success, attain money, right? We see statistically black men, when they get to that level, divesting, right? And nesting, okay, and going off into other communities. We definitely see that. But one thing about Winston is I know he loves his mother and his sister who, raised him and taught him everything that he knows. And so whoever he's with, it's going to be important that they love the woman that he's with as well. I know he's very serious about that. Let's see. I'm a black man and the divestment. Sorry, Percy. I understand it, but as a black man, I feel some type of way. Are you saying you're a black man in the divestment community, or are you just saying you're a black man, you're observing the divestment community, and you're feeling some type of way? Let me be clear. I'm not a part of some divestment community. I'm me. Bitch, I'm me. I'm me. Times 3. C3. Okay, I'm me. Okay. And I believe that black people need to empower themselves. That's first and foremost. And I believe that black men need to build. And I believe that black women need to move smarter. These are things that I believe. But if we're going by divestment community, that term on social media means we talk about getting back at these niggas for dating out and not dating us, And I went to PWIs my whole life. Black men dated out my whole life. I observed that, okay? And so it doesn't make me feel any type of way to see that because I'm used to it. But let's be very clear, Percy. I can't control what other people think. And you might see people commenting things that offend you, but I'm not here to offend anyone. I don't have to come at any body, any group with vitriol. And there's a lot of people on here who will, lay up with and post up with, bottom shelf brads. And I don't think that's a good look. I think a man that would say the N-word, okay, in any context is a bottom shelf brad. And I don't care how much money he claims to make, okay? Because making 1 million is nothing when you've had a 500-year head start. Making 1 mil when you've got multiple kids and ex-wives ain't shit. So, you rock, Sammy. No, I'm observing from a distance. I like to know what's going on in these streets. I feel you. Same. I like to know what's going on in these streets too, Percy. Okay, I'm not a divester. Okay. Because there are men that are like basically repeating women's talking points because how else would they know any of these talking points but from repeating them from women? And again, if you're gonna take someone's talking points, then the least you could do is acknowledge this is the person I've got this talking point from. What's up, SC Johnson? Good to see ya. All right, so let me get into it. All right, again, I might not get to all y'all comments. If you're in the room, like and thumbs up the video, because if you're not a subscriber, you will not be able to comment. And I'm gonna get into this topic. I'm not gonna get all of y'all comments, but if you want your comment to be seen, you know how to make that possible. So go ahead and do what you got to do. But I gotta hit this topic, all right? Because it's a very important topic. And a lot of y'all comments have already reflected on this. But again, I asked the poll that I asked because people are saying they're divested, but in the real world, the fact that most of you can say, I've never had a conversation about divestment outside of social media shows that people ain't about this life. People ain't about this life. I don't have the followers that almost everyone else has talking about this. So the fact that these people have, 1,000 people in the chat, but nobody talks about this when they leave, it's not adding up. The math's not mathing. Again, you're not going to be a Jehovah's Witness that only talks about being a Jehovah's Witness online. When you believe in something, that's how you live. Right? Again, I'm going to go over the definition of to divest. Divest is a verb to deprive someone of power, rights, or possessions. When you divest, you are acknowledging your worth and divesting it from anything that no longer serves you, which again, if you could find a video of someone using that term before I used it on my video about divesting that's still posted on my channel, go ahead and I'll give them credit for it. But until then, I'm the one that came up with that definition of divestment in these streets. Understand that. People love that I'm a small channel. And look, I can't compete with people that was on here clowning themselves and playing a fool and embarrassing themselves for years on end. I can't compete with that. People want to see people falling apart. You're not going to see that on DanieSteel. Ooh. It's just, that's just how it is. Because you see, I divested from birth. And that's something that people keep saying now. Something that I've also said in my early videos about divestment. My world said it. How can you have a fully black child, but you divested from birth? No, you're not. If you have a child out of wedlock, that means you didn't get the message. That unless he puts a ring on it, and pushing out his baby so he might not. Unless he puts a ring on it. There's no giving of babies. How hard is that? That's what these men are telling you. Kevin Samuels will tell you that. See, they'll go to Kevin Samuels to hear it. He's going to embarrass you along the way, but he'll let you know. So there's people on here talking about being the queens. Isn't she phony? Talking about being the queens of divestment. Not with a whole baby out of wedlock, you're not. What are you talking about? And then they love to take it back to, well, BWE content, BWE content. BWE content and divestment, if you're actually talking about divestment, they're two different things. They coincide, but you can't say BWE content. You can say the divestment stemmed from BWE content, but they're not the same content. Because I believe that BWE content is for women who are married to black men, have children out of wedlock, which again, I'm not shaming that over here. We're all for single mothers here, but we're also all for accountability. That's all. And this discussion is to let you know true divestment hurts because you're not going to just be divesting from these raggedy dusties. You're not. You're going to have to divest from a hell of a lot more than that. You're going to have to know how not to embarrass yourself. Some of y'all faves have been on here sobbing, crying, and not the ones that you think. Talking about some, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I've been clowning myself for these little clicks and views. I can't do anything else. That's why I'm like, miss me with the trying to tell me that this channel is hate bashing, because I don't hate bash anyone. I don't have to. I vibrate higher than that. I've been divested from things that no longer serve me for quite some time. And it's a painful process. It is an emotional birthing process for you to give birth to who you really are, for you to give birth to who you really should be, for you to give birth to who you were destined to be. We talk about karma, but what about dharma? What about dharma? Your life's destiny is not to be a foot soldier for a faulty revolution. So, again, that's why when people steal my talking points, all you got to do is look at the scoreboard. All right? I don't have any children out of wedlock. I'm married. Look at the scoreboard. You don't have to make a lot of money. People love to come on here talking about what they got, the money that y'all gave them. That's y'all, but for y'all views, they wouldn't have this money. You don't have, having money doesn't mean you're divested. Eating at a nice restaurant, living in a nice neighborhood does not mean you're divested. Everybody knows how Chris Brown was pissing off his neighbors with his crazy house art, right? He ain't divested. Ain't no woman going through that house divested. And he living in much nicer neighborhoods than any of us. So let's cut the cap with the idea that money or possessions, because see, when I was poor in the hood, I was divested. Why? Because ain't nobody like me, okay? They didn't like me. I was a kid adults didn't like, okay? Because I was walking around with a clipboard, just writing down everything people was doing. I will be giving this to the authorities, okay? As an empath, and I'm one of the world's strongest empaths. It is what it is. I'm one of the world's strongest empaths. As an empath, as a truth teller, as a black sheep, they didn't like me when I was growing up in the hood. People talking about divesting, but they had a middle class upbringing. What are you divesting from? Oh, your parents have a raggedy, backwards mentality of shit? Okay, but that don't make you a queen of divestment. That don't make you a queen of divestment. We got women out here that have a lot of obstacles to overcome. A lot of obstacles financially. They ain't got no parents. They have no mom or dad to fall back on. Friendships get a little hard when you're divested. Friendships are hard, okay? Because nobody understands why you act the way you act, why you move the way you move, why you do the things you do. Nobody understands it because they don't understand what you're coming from and what you're trying to avoid. And it's not a kid out here who's going to sit up here, had a decent life, and was sitting there thinking about divesting. It don't work that way. But for having to raise my deadbeat father's children, I wouldn't have had some idea in my head about divesting. But see, again, I didn't have to give birth to understand. I ain't doing this shit again. I ain't doing this shit again. So when you choose wrong, your whole life, your children got to pay for it. It didn't take me 5 seconds to understand that concept. When you do wrong, your children got to pay for it? Oh, hell no. Not my kids. Not my babies. Hell no. When I went to PWIs on scholarship, and saw all these kids getting so much, and I got nothing. Every Christmas, nothing. When you're in foster care, they don't give you Christmas presents. So miss me with the bullshit. There's a struggle to becoming who you deserve to be. And it ain't just talking about it. Again, I was talking about divestment years and years ago in real life to women that told me, I'm tired of going 50-50. I'm tired of going. I'm like, why do you have an attitude with your man? Maybe that's why, like, damn, things probably could be better for y'all if you didn't have an attitude. I'm observing the disrespect, the way you treat him. I'm tired of going 50-50. Then how you should have never went 50-50. That was your first mistake. And I told you about that. You go 50-50 once, they can smell it on you. They can smell that you are willing to go 50-50. And that's something, whatever space I was in. Guys used to call me a feminist, okay? Even though I hung out with a lot of guys. When I was in college, right? They were like, she's a feminist. Now, I wasn't a feminist so much as I was letting dudes know, I'm not going to just hook up with you and yeah. It's not going to happen. Been around the world and yeah. It's not going to happen. Because, see, there's a cost to women doing that. There is. There's a cost to, if you're a woman and when he start kissing on the neck, it's game over. Y'all know it. He knows it. When he starts kissing on the neck, it's game over. So why would you allow him to kiss on your neck? Because there's a lot of women on here talking about he told me he would marry me. And he said, when did he say it? Huh? One hand on frontal, one hand on. Huh? That's when he said it? That doesn't count. And you're not going to tell me anyone told you that counts. That's bull. So I practiced abstinence from youth, okay? From youth. To control my environment, to control the things that happened to me in my life. I practiced abstinence. And, they would try to clown. They would try to clown me for it. Bitch, you can't clown me for not having kids out of wedlock and not having STDs. You can never clown me for that. Shit, the fuck? I'm sitting pretty on it, baby. And one thing that I also noticed as a 22-year-old virgin. These dudes don't want no virgin. Okay. They don't want no virgin. You 22. You want to date a guy your age. A guy your age wants a girl who's going to immediately start trampolining. That's what they want. And you're 22, it's not easy to meet older men with money. And I didn't want to be around. Of course, I dated an older guy or two. Okay? Because as I said, I go where the money resides, where the money resides, where the money resides. Okay? But Again, I don't want some old ass hanging around me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you gotta think about that. All right, I'm gonna pause real quick, try to read some of y'all comments. Thank y'all so much for being here. BWE means Black Women Empowerment, and that was a sphere of YouTube, you know, that was really popping years ago. And it's, you know, developed into I don't know, swirl YouTube, divestment YouTube. You know, there's still BWE YouTube, I guess, but under the large umbrella of BWE comes all of these little segments, right? Black Women Empowerment. Stop capping stop right from the money you make off YouTube. Stop capping off the money you make off YouTube. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You know, and you got to understand, I'm not a fool, you know, but no, I'm not going to risk my relationship, my mental health, doing foolish shit on YouTube for views. I think a lot of people do foolish shit on YouTube because not just for the views, but because they have no moral compass. They don't care about what happens to the people around them. Right? You know, I'm with Jackie Ina when it comes to family. Family's off limits. That's why I don't talk about other people's family. And, you know, I do my best to keep things anonymous when it comes to anything I'm talking about regarding family, friends, etc. Because family's off limits. And my family for damn sure is. I'm not like the rest of these clowns on here. That shit's not funny. It's not cute to me. I think, again, these women don't understand, you know, consequences. So they just say anything and then it's, oh, people are attacking me. No, you need to watch your mouth. Okay. Yep, I hate to say I cut a lot of my toxic feminist friends off during this journey. Interesting. Interesting. White feminists or black feminists? Sometimes there's a difference, you know. I like women that are womanists or whatever. What baby? One hand on neck, one hand on frontal. He whispering to you. He licking your neck. He told me he would marry me. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He did what men do to drop those drawers. Everybody knows that. So I don't let nobody kiss my neck, baby. Okay? Unless he got funds. Period. Okay? Bottom line. Stop getting yourself, women, into a precarious situation where you as a woman know your guard is down. Start going where the money resides and start being strategic. That's what I teach here on my channel. Period. They want you to have enough experience to please them sexually, but not enough experience so that your body count isn't high. Exactly, Angela. Exactly. The hoops. These dudes got a lot of hoops. Right? Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got a rhyme with that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But I'm proud of myself for doing things on my own time. And when you're a black girl in the black community, that's not easy. That's not easy. Because I had people try to assault me in that way, growing up in foster care. So when we talk about divesting and the struggle that it entails to divest, that is a verb. It doesn't happen out of thin air. It doesn't happen like magic. I know black women, black girls who fought every day to not be abused. And guess what? A girl and a woman can't fight a man. So a lot of people did get abused. And if that happened to you, you always have a place here, because we focus on healing here. If you want to share your story here, I would never, and please understand that right now, if you're a man, welcome. It is what it is. Women come first here. Women come first here because I'm a woman. Period. That means your agenda will never come first. Men have an agenda. You see, I've lived with my husband for over 11 years. Men have an agenda. A lot of these women dislike y'all because they don't know other men. I know all different types of men. Men have an agenda. Go find a man like Kevin Samuels. He'll work y'all agenda. Well, women will be protected here. I'm not going to ever tell a woman, sometimes women do this and that. Get the fuck out of here. Women come first. My point is, a lot of us had to fight off abuse. I was abused physically. I couldn't fight off the people that abused me. There are women that are abused sexually. They couldn't fight that person off. But you can choose the encounters you do have that are consensual. And what I'm telling you to do is to be strategic and empower yourself. By being strategic. True divestment hurts. So I'm looking at everybody booed up, coupled up. I'm 22 years old, never had a boyfriend. The only time I ever kissed a guy was on stage, which is bizarre, right? And I'm just thinking, what the hell is this? What's going on? I'm trying to be a lady that guys want to ask out properly, but these guys aren't really asking me out properly. Because it had to be proper. Like how my husband did it. And that's why I'm his wife. Period. It wasn't, D don't chase nobody. I'll be alone. I don't have a problem with that. I'm telling you, I have a self-discipline out of this world. So, true divestment hurts, and it requires discipline. It requires discipline. If you're talking about your divested, nothing in your life has changed. The people around you haven't changed. Everybody at holidays coming up. Where are you going for the holidays? Back to your family. You gonna sit across from that abusive uncle? You gonna sit across from him and then come on to YouTube talking about you the queen of the streets? Queen of the divested streets? That ain't divested. Your baby daddy ain't got nowhere to go for the holiday, and that's your baby, and your baby love him. So that's not divested. You got some Tammy Mammy sitting across from you, which is one of the reasons why me and my husband, we'd rather go on vacation during the holidays than deal with Tammy Mammies. Sitting across from you, making you feel bad about being beautiful, black, and bougie. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I work my ass off to live a bougie life. And then I got to sit across with somebody mad because her son ain't shit. Bitch, that ain't got shit to do with me. You're sitting across from people that want to stifle your shine. That's not divested. What do you mean? You just gave me a gem. So the neck is, oh, look at that. Look at that. We got ops. We got ops. All right. This is a smart man. Okay. I hope you learned something from this. And I hope that if you're really interested, you know, in being a man that is a leader and provider, I hope you do take notes, Percy. What's the proper way to approach? Very, very good. Very good, Percy. If you're not new to my channel, you know I prefer the pacey approach. Okay, and the pacey approach is befriend me. Befriend me first, right? Start it off trying to be friends. How hard is it? We can't be friends. I'm still in love. Start it off being friends. Can you start it off being friends so a woman can get to know you? So that she can get to know the man that she's around. She's not putting her life on the line. Okay? I'll date a K-pop boy before I date, some chiseled, really big, muscular guy that I don't know. Because men have strengths women don't have physically. And I'm not going to be alone with a man I don't know. So, the pacey approach. Befriend her. Try to befriend her before you try to get her in her panties. I don't think that's difficult. And I think that will end up serving both of you because you get to know each other. People have a right to know you. I believe that. There's a lot of, I don't have to disclose this or that to my partner, and I don't have to tell them this and that. What? You better tell me everything. You got to give me everything. You gonna tell me everything. Fuck. So I want to know who you are. And friendship will help that happen. You're a lot less likely to lie to a friend than you are to a woman you're trying to get to drop her drawers so you can have a one-night stand. Right? And, if you're a man or a woman, understand that. Take heed and practice the pacey approach. Okay? Make sure that you get to know this guy before you go over to his place. That's not smart. Before you invite him over to your place. Get to know him. I like to get to know who you are. I like to meet some close friends and family. For myself, I reflect on this holiday season, another holiday season of not being around either of our families, me or my husband's. This will be the third holiday season, right? And one of the things one of my estranged family members said to me, one of the last things he said to me was, have fun being alone. That's what he said to me. That's what he said to me. Screamed it. Because he was like, you have to be humble. You have to be humble. No, I'm not going to play humble because you're mediocre, brah. So what's next? So what's next? And the only person I can think of that's alone right now is his ass. Because I'm married. I'll never be alone. I got married on the Mediterranean Sea. My union was ordained by God. I'll never be alone. Fuck. But you see, that's the delusion that people live under when they live in Blackistan. This little nugget head really thought that I was going to be losing something by divesting myself away from him. He thought I was going to be the one to lose. When I'm doing well, dog. I'm doing well, dog. Okay? And it's just period. Mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, I'm doing well, dog. You see, what happens when you're divested is you don't just talk about the dysfunction that takes place in these communities and these families in Blackistan. You don't just talk about it online. You don't. You don't just talk about it online to get some clicks and some cash apps. It is a way of life. And if it's a way of life, you're going to spread the message. And you're going to vibrate the message. I don't get on here being like, I'm the queen of divestment. My life speaks for itself. I don't need 1 billion views to be divested. Okay? I don't need a bunch of yes men. So family betrayal is something you might very well experience when you truly become divested. As Sammy said earlier in the live, when you start talking about dysfunction, you're going to be a target. All right? They're going to want you out of there. And how they'll initially try to do that is humbling you, right? Giving you no support, treating you like some outsider, treating you like you're ostracized, but you're still around them. If that doesn't work and you don't get the message from how they're treating you, they'll let you know by their actions, right? By their words. Okay? So I've already talked about this on this channel, but my family, my estranged family of origin, they're a family of origin that I am estranged from, and I have not communicated with them in going on 3 years. Why? You know, you see people like Brittany Renner, right? You see people like Black China, who was like in the airport shouting weird things, you know. And she reminds me of estranged family members that I've been around. Women who think they can do and say anything because colorism has benefited them. Laying up with knuckers has behooved them, has made them feel like they have some type of seat at the table in the community, right? And you can't tell these women shit. So if I got a family member that behaves like Black China or Brittany Renner, I'm not going to keep trying to tell this girl to stop fucking disrespecting me. going to keep, no. And she thinks that she can. Because she sees you as a mule, as someone that does the heavy, hard work so she can lay up with the fine brothers. Right? So you ain't shit, basically. And that's how she sees you. These Dusties have filled her head, just like they fill Becky's head. They fill the heads of the women that they exalt through colorism with an idea, which is a fucking lie. And time reveals that lie. That you're better than brown, dark-skinned black women, right? Time reveals that lie. Like I said, they want to come on here. Are you overweight? You overweight. You're not a size 4. Feminine, fit, and friendly. Then why y'all don't leave me alone in real life? Why? I thought y'all said, because I'll be outside overweight with a wig on, and they can't leave me alone, can't leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone then? In the real world. Right. Because a lot of what the rhetoric that these manospheres put out on here is cap. It's cap. Even the way that they'll get on and they'll lie, right? They'll be like, she can't have a weave. She can't have a weave. Any bitch you lay up with is going to have a weave. White women wear weave and wigs. I know white women that have had full hair transplants. Full-on hair transplants. Okay? But see, one thing about white women is, not only do they not reveal their beauty secrets, their men don't reveal their beauty secrets either. So y'all think they don't have any beauty secrets. They woke up like this? No, everybody has to do something. Nobody's perfect. And it's really sad that they can continue to make the standard for black women be white women, but they don't want the standard for themselves. These manospheres, they don't want their standard to be compared to that of the white man, but that's what everyone else is comparing their standard to. Asian women are comparing their men's standard to white men's standard. I'm gonna go get me a Hispanic girl. Okay, a Hispanic Latina woman is going to be telling you need to compete every day. So when I started talking about divestment to my family, right, to my estranged family of origin and to close friends, I got a lot of, why would I date out? What would I talk about with a white guy? One, it doesn't have to just be a white guy. I was encouraging these women. I was like, okay, well, what about, they call them ELs. What about the educated lames, right? I was like, what about the educated lames, right? They ain't want them neither. Okay, so bitch, what you want? So as I lived my life, right? For example, my divested ass life, right? I'm gonna make a TV show. It's gonna be a spinoff of my so-called life. It's gonna be my divested life. Okay? No, it's not. It's not. It's not gonna happen. But anyways, so my husband gets up at 6:30. He heads on out to work. I get up when he gets up because I don't believe in sleeping in. I believe in getting to it. Okay. even though I don't have any workplace to chime into at 6:30 in the morning, right? Most of my work usually takes place later in the day, but I get up at 6:30 with my husband. Okay, I'll make him dinner if he. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll make him breakfast if he wants breakfast. He usually doesn't. Um, so I was like, you know what? Let me go get some pet treats for now. Now, see, I'm gonna slide back into my, dudes love to come over here and be like, why don't you talk like a lady? I'll talk like a lady when I'm talking about lady things. Blackistan ain't lady things. Okay. Now we're getting into the bougie way of living. Okay. So my husband leaves. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Target and get some pet treats because I've run out of. Do I have pet treats for my cats and my dog? I do. They don't like them, so now I gotta go get some more. Okay, so I go out and get some more. I spend over $40 on pet treats. Okay, my husband's not gonna have a problem with that. He's not gonna be like, "Ah!" Right? And you know how zaddies do it. So I get the text message, be ready when I get home. You already know what's going down, right? I'm letting y'all into the real life of divested. This is real life. Okay. So my husband is on his way to work. I'm running errands and he's, doing his husband D thing, being like, yeah, you better get ready when I get home. Right? I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go, daddy. Right? So, and then he says, like, basically, like, and I want some beef tacos, right? Which is, it's from this Dr. Phil video that I did a review of, where the guy was saying his girlfriend liked beef tacos, right? But he likes tacos, right? So I'm at Target. I'm running those errands. Now I gotta go run to the grocery store to get all the ingredients for the beef tacos. Taco, taco. Gotta get those ingredients. Okay? Get all the ingredients. All right. By the time I get home, it's 2-3 hours later. I might go to yoga, rehabilitation yoga, which is basically just sitting there. You don't even have to do yoga poses. You just sit there and, like, they're like, curl into a ball and love yourself, right? And the instructor comes over and puts a hot rock on your head, and they cover you with a warm blanket. This is my day. This is my day. It's unbelievable. I'm like, all I do is shop and go to yoga. What the hell is this? I grew up with nothing but my fucking brain. You had to hustle to eat when I was growing up in Blackistan. Actually living in Blackistan, not listening to people who lived in Blackistan and then taking talking points and making a video off of that. I grew up in Blackistan. Gotta eat to live, gotta steal to eat. What you know about Aladdin? Okay? Viola Davis talks about it. Having to steal to eat. What do y'all know about that? What do y'all know about putting your children in that position? I will never put my child in that position. And so I became someone who other people found intolerable. Why are you so, people used to ask me when I was growing up, why are you so strict? And why are you so hard on other people? And why are you so, because I can't fail. I will not lose. I can't fail. Now y'all can go run into your mama and daddy. I don't have the luxury. True divestment is hard. People aren't gonna like you. You're weird. You're different. You're not doing things the culturally dysfunctional, normal way. You know, I'll never forget Father's Day years back. And you know, I was like, fuck Father's Day. You know, I wouldn't do that now. But, you know, it was years back. It was, you know, probably like 7, 8 years ago. And I was like, fuck Father's Day, you know? And I was like, you know, I said, black men don't raise their kids. Because that's the only life I knew. And a friend of mine from the diaspora, from the Caribbean, said, hey, my father raised me. I love my father. I was like, oh shit, I had no idea. I literally just assumed that we all ain't had no daddies, because most people I know ain't got no daddy. Right? Most black people I know ain't had no daddy. But to be fair, most people from the diaspora that live in America, they have fathers. Right? So people have different walks and different experiences of things. But I'm sure that person looked at me like, what the hell? Right? You'll lose friendships. You'll lose connections for speaking your truth. People don't like that. So I was like, okay, let me go get the beef for our tacos, right? What are the ingredients I have to get? Now, we get this like beef that's like prime, right? It's like prime beef, right? Top of the line. It's Kobe beef, right? And Kobe beef, if you know anything, if you're divested, I'm just kidding, but really though, right? Certainly, if you're divested, you know what Kobe beef is. It's the most expensive beef that you can get, right? We usually get Kobe beef, okay? Now, what's going to happen is my husband's going to come home from a hard day's work and he's going to get what husbands get, which is the happy ending and then dinner, right? Then I'm going to walk my ass up. I've made my husband food in 6-inch stilettos. Don't fuck with me. See, y'all miss out on a lot when you miss out on a black woman. You miss out on a lot. But see, this rhetoric on here has you believing that there's some woman more feminine and she's more feminine and she's going to do, okay, well, go find her. Because I have a lot of non-black women friends and ain't none of them ever made their man nothing in 6-inch stilettos. They wouldn't even wear 6-inch stiletto. Okay. Anyways, I got to get the beef that we always get. It's not there. Shh. I don't want my husband to know. He's gone. He's at work. He works from home 2 days a week, but he just went back into work because he didn't have to go into work because, you know, the panini situation. So now he's back to working from the office 3 days a week. Wall Street. Okay. So that's why I try to tell y'all about going to college. I keep telling you, it's the Trina approach. To get close to his rich friends, you find a nigga. You know, I call all men niggas, okay? Find you one that's doing well. Everyone you meet through him is going to be doing well. Fuck. So they don't have the beef that we want. And I'm sitting there being like, what am I going to do? We don't have the beef. What if he tastes the taco and he can tell it's not the beef we usually eat? He's not going to be happy about that, right? And then you know what comes next, right? No, I'm not going to make a joke about violence, okay? But he, obviously my husband would never do anything to me. I've been with him 11 years. He wouldn't hurt anyone that was a woman, certainly. So that's my problems as a divested woman, okay? And you don't think, knowing that I have family members who, when I would meet up with them, I would be like, you want me to take you grocery shopping? And they would be like, oh, can I get this or can I get that? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, get whatever you need. Because one thing that me and my husband is going to do is make sure people I love are taken care of. You don't think it hurts me to be sitting there and be like, what kind of, you know, having these bougie problems? Divestment hurts. Divestment hurts. Okay? I did everything I could to maintain those relationships, but it will not be at my expense. And I will not maintain relationships without reciprocity. I don't expect you to give me what I could give you, but you're going to give me something. You're going to give me something. Yes, you are. I ain't Big Mama, and I'll never be a Big Mama. My great-grandmother who raised me was not a Big Mama. She was my great-grandmother. Great-grandma Steel. Okay? I'm not having non-reciprocal relationships. So I'm going to make the tacos tonight, you know, after it all goes down. And the way it goes down, right? And we'll see. I mean, I'll let you guys know if he notices. I'm going to have to put my whole foot in this making tacos with regular beef. I've never even bought regular beef. They didn't have the beef I wanted, right? Those are problems you have when you're divested. Let me tell you something. No one's going to be happy for you. That's the problems you have. Understand this. No one is going to be happy for you. No one is going to be like, yes, girl, you did it. Almost every Black woman I know, again, unless they're scammers, which I don't personally know, but you see them on YouTube all the time, bunch of scammers, bunch of scamming Black women on YouTube, right? The Black women I know in real life work their ass off. They work long, hard hours every day. They're not going to be happy for you that your day consists of trying to figure out which beef you're going to buy and what yoga studio you're going to go to. It don't matter what you went through growing up. It don't matter that you helped raise them. It don't matter that you gave them everything. They're not going to be happy for you. So if you're truly divested, you're having a lonely lot. If you're truly divested, it's a cold world. Ain't nobody gonna be happy for you. And you sitting up there thinking that they're gonna be happy for you. It's like, bitch, all you gotta do is take my advice and follow the Purpleprint, and you can have the same. They're not gonna be happy for you. Instead, you're gonna be hit with accusations of self-righteousness and sanctimoniousness. I'm sorry. I don't think that's the worst thing a person can be. Especially when you're trying to especially when you're breaking generational curses. Fuck. Imagine everything I've seen, everything I've been through. I've seen and been through so much. I sacrificed my childhood for my estranged siblings. And their response was, you need to humble yourself. As much as they've done harm to one another, none of that shit matters because it's Blackistan harm. It's Blackistan dysfunction. But the idea of me not struggling, of me doing better, it makes them sick to their stomach, doesn't it? Wasn't it the reason? It makes them sick to their stomach. They came on the channel and said in the comments, my estranged male siblings called me a schizophrenic, happily ganging up on me. I had to remind them, you're fucking with somebody you don't know. Y'all don't know me. I've pretended to be someone to make y'all happy. Allow me to reintroduce myself. And at any time, as I've told them, and I'll tell them again whenever they want to come to my fucking channel thinking that they're going to make demands on me, we can all go up in flames. Okay? One of the things that I've learned from the ability to afford therapy is that, clearly my estranged family members don't want me talking about the life that we lived. Okay? They want to lie to people, and they don't want people to think that they're different. Right? So they're not going to talk about their experiences in foster care. One of my estranged male siblings said, the one that said, have fun being alone when I'm married. And you sound like a cartoon character, nigga. He said, oh, you look so stupid talking about foster care on social media. No, I don't. There's so many people that have gone through foster care, even though it is a statistical anomaly. I'm here to help people because I was able to heal through it. But your unhealed ass thinks that you're going to control me and what I say. They have a problem with what I say because they feel like I'm telling people things about them. I'm talking about my life experience. And I'm not going to stifle that because your bitch ass hasn't grown up and gotten the balls to face the life you've lived. Shame breeds dysfunction. I don't have any shame for the things I had to go through as a fucking child. I don't have any shame on people overpowering me when I was weaker. I don't have any shame about that. So my brother, estranged, I say estranged so that y'all understand, I don't give a fuck about him. Besides the fact that we are related and I wish him well, they think somebody cares about them a hell of a lot more than they are cared about. I didn't give birth to you little niggas, so I really don't give a fuck. Anyways, I already told you guys a story about for my wedding, I eloped to Italy. It was a bougie designer affair. I've shared a few photos. I asked my brother, who is married interracially to a white woman, I asked him to come and he said no, because his girlfriend, who is now his wife, he said, because you didn't buy her a ticket. Who the fuck is she? Who the fuck is she? She's your fucking girlfriend. That don't mean shit to me. I'm not made out of money. What the fuck is you talking about? She won't come to your own sister's wedding. And then when he got married here in the States, the way people get married, okay? He said, oh, you're jealous of me because I had a lot of people in my wedding. Bitch, what? I eloped to Italy. That was a choice me and my husband made so that we could have the wedding we wanted, which was to spend money on ourselves, not a bunch of people that we knew were broke and wouldn't help us out. So is you talking about? When he had his wedding, he had me sit in the audience. I'm in the audience with everybody else, regular degular. But this nigga was mad that I didn't invite his white girlfriend to Italy and pay for her ticket and set shit up so that they could have the time of their life. No, bitch, nigga, I asked you to come to support me, to be a family member to me. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I put up with it because, hey, it's your wedding. Run it however the fuck you want, nigga. I'm already married. I had the wedding of a lifetime. Jealous of you for what, bitch? Anyways, he basically ran his mouth when I confided something in him. And that's why he basically destroyed our family. He destroyed our family because I'm not going to go around people who were ha-ha and kikiing about a traumatic event that I experienced, that I asked this little rugrat to be confidential about. Because of that, at any day now, if I ever see them in any of my social media or any of their little raggedy ass friends saying any fucking thing, I will drop a whole documentary about our lives. Now, it's not going to mean shit to me because I've already been honest about my life. But I'm going to include those little niggas in it too. Most people live in fear of people knowing what they've been through and who they are. Tragic. I can't relate. This is what they did to me. When I did I tell you one thing that I've done to them for me to be treated like that? This is what happens when you divest. See, what I think is he didn't like that he got with Becky and he was supposed to be the creme de la creme. He was supposed to be like, bitch nigga, I don't give a fuck. What's next? I got my nigga too. Oh, but now he feels some type of way. Because he couldn't have Becky elevate him to the highest status. He doesn't like that me and my husband's relationship serves as a reminder of what society really looks like and how society is really functioning. Right? And your wife, your Becky, ain't gonna change that. We got hitters too. Right? So I believe that innately, subconsciously, because this is not a person that thinks. Most people in Blackistan don't think. That's why they're easy to be manipulated. That's why they're easy to be manipulated socially, politically, and economically. That's why. Because critical thinking is at an all-time low. Why would you behave that way? Like, why? What did I do? It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening because what it shows is just an outright hatred of black women. He has no other black women in his life. It's not a dark-skinned black woman in his life. I'm the only one. But he invited his deadbeat father's mother to his wedding and kind of exalted her, like, to show his little this white family he was trying to marry into, right? Like, look, I have somebody who, that bitch wasn't there when you was growing up. But she wasn't there. Just like your deadbeat ass daddy wasn't there. You know who the fuck was? Me. What the fuck? And then this nigga gonna try to come to my channel talking about some, she's schizophrenic. Schizophrenic? Why would you disrespect mental illness like that, bitch? Raggedy ass bitch. So I got something for their asses. Just say the word, little niggas. Come to my channel again with your bullshit. I'm gonna drop a whole fucking documentary on you niggas. You'll have to face the truth of who you are eventually. And there's not a nest. There's not a nest in another community that's gonna let you hide from what the fuck is up. Okay? So when you're truly divested, it's holidays alone. It's no birthday calls. It's people making you the villain for no reason. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason. Fuck. Talking about saying, for these little clicks, for these little views. Bitch, my numbers will continue to increase. My numbers will continue to increase. And I don't have to labor the way you do. Put it that way. Ha ha! Okay? So, you know, people will be self-righteous and sanctimonious. I get a lot of, not everybody can have a husband and not everybody can. Yes, but when you don't work for it, yeah. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? I gave you the Purpleprint. Go to college. Put yourself around high-value men. Work hard in school. The harder you work, K through 12, the more likely it is that you will get into a great college institution. This will put you around men who want to build. Men who want to build go to college, they go to trade school. Men who want to build learn how to build. So I'm supposed to lower myself, never talk about anything that I'm happy about in my life because y'all chose the mediocre route. I don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. Because y'all chose the mediocre route. I can't say shit about my life and what I'm going through. I deliberately placed myself around men of value. I'm supposed to apologize for that? Because you didn't? Because some nigga was kissing on your neck and he told you this and you fell for it? Bitch, that's your problem. And so a man asking for your number on the first day is wrong? No. But again, if you use the pacey approach, you would say, you know, it's really nice meeting you. I would love to connect with you again if you want to exchange numbers, right? Not take my number. Take my number. I'm going to call your phone right now. I'm going to call you right now. You better answer. You better pick up. Right? That's not going to do it for me. Okay? And that's not going to do it for any woman that's divested. All right? If you're divested, hide your necks. Hide your necks. Okay? And yeah, again, you could say I would love to connect with you again, we can touch base, or I'd love to take you out to, you got to put something on a table. You see, when I was in Italy, I went to the city of Pompeii. And the city of Pompeii, which if you ever heard of Pompeii, it is the city in Italy that was covered, right? The eruption of Mount, God damn it, I'm like Mount Rushmore. There was a mountain in Pompeii long time ago. It erupted and basically covered the entire city. People were frozen in place, right? And so my husband's like, oh, we're going to Pompeii. And I'm not putting two and two together. We're like in the car, we're driving to Pompeii. I see this huge volcano in the distance. He's literally telling the story. He's like, the volcano erupted and killed everyone. I'm like, so why are we driving towards it? Why? This is things, when you divest, you see what happens? That's why I have interracial dating surprises on my channel as well. Go ahead and check that out. They love to surprise you. Okay? Y'all know how YT can get. All right? Y'all know how Dwight people can be. Okay? This nigga had me going to Pompeii. You telling me the story. It killed everybody. So why are we heading there? He's in there. All right, so we get to Pompeii. Thankfully, the volcano did not erupt while we were there. Okay. And one of the symbols in Pompeii, all right, it's like the symbol of the city, if you will, right, is the male phallus, right? You can almost say it's their mascot, right? If Italy was like America loves mascots, right? Pompeii's mascot would be a phallus, okay? Phalluses are everywhere. And this is to symbolize that in the year 2000, wherever, right, before the volcano erupted and destroyed Pompeii, one of the things that, the way that they lived life in Pompeii was that men only slept with women to procreate. Women had no power. They had no say. That's why you'll hear people like BB Rexa talking about something. I'd love to go back to 1940s Paris. How about going back to the year 2000 in Pompeii? 2000 BC. You want to be there? No, because women didn't have any rights. But people love to be like, where do you want to go back in time? To no time where my people are being colonized. That's for damn sure. Right? So the city of Pompeii celebrates the phallus. There's phalluses everywhere. Very, 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 very large. Very, 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 very tiny. You can put it on a keychain. Because that's how they lived life back then. All right? This was the nature of man. They only slept with women to procreate. But for procreation, women weren't allowed to leave the house. They weren't allowed to come to the stadium. They weren't allowed to participate in politics. They weren't allowed to do shit. Right? We all know Africa was a bit different than that. And that's why claiming Black women are stealing feminist talking points, is hilarious. I digress. Back to the phallus. So who were they sleeping with if they were only sleeping with women to procreate? One another. And that's fine. This is I support the LGBT community here. So it's not these men didn't feel like they were part of an LGBT community, right? That was just the way they lived life. There are a lot of cultures today that still do this because they believe that, women cannot have sex before marriage. So the men indulge one another. And maybe that's what they should do if they don't understand that there's a price that comes with women engaging in sexual activity. The price of pregnancy and child labor is tremendous. And if they don't want to pay for it, maybe they should just hook up with one another and just get with each other. That's what they did in Pompeii. Okay? So that's why they loved the phallus. The men. They loved it. That was their whole life, baby. So, if you don't want to do things the way a woman asks, but you want to interact with a woman, then maybe y'all looking for each other. Because there's a lot less price to pay if you hook up with one another. Okay? That's what men don't understand. Nobody's making you interact with women. Right? And I'm not saying this to you personally, Percy, but to everyone. Mounts Vesuvius. Yes. Thank you, my world. The fit comments these men make seem like the goalpost has moved. Black men used to love thick women. I'd have men tell me I don't need to lose weight. To this day, they'll tell you that if you interact with any of them in the streets, but they want to be online talking about some size 4. If every black woman in the black community became a size 4, they would ignore you. They wouldn't like it because you wouldn't have I guess they want you all to get breast implants and BBLs like the size 4 non-black women that they love to place on pedestals do, right? It would move again. I promise you. Become a size 4 for these raggedy dusties with these raggedy talking points. Become a size 4 for them. They're going to move the goalposts again. They're going to be like, you need to get a BBL and breast implants because I need something to hold on to. Hoops. They want you to jump through them. Goalposts, they stay moving them. This ain't fantasy football, bruh. It's real life. Okay? Now, there's a price to me engaging with you on a sexual level, and if you can't pay the toll, keep it moving. Percy says, I was raised in foster care too. How did you reprogram your mind from your upbringing? There we go, Percy. And I believe that's why you're here, Percy. It wasn't for this divestment stuff. Okay? And that is my dharma. I have a greater purpose. I survived through that to connect with other people. You know how many people have asked me, how were you able to confront growing up in foster care? There's so much shame. I've heard some of the sexier, skinnier, pick-me women on here saying stuff like, I would never date a black man like you, Percy, but they're all about black love. I would never date a black man who didn't have a great relationship with his mother. I would never date a black man that wasn't raised perfectly. So then, bitch, why is you complaining when they go date out? Why? Because see, y'all got a lot of limitations and what he better do and all that too. I'm sure there was a good handful of men who were adopted or placed in foster care or grew up with their grandmas or something that followed her. Black people don't have some perfect type of lifestyle for women who were raised who were raised by their parents to be like, well, if he wasn't raised by his mom, then, and he doesn't have a great relationship with his mom, like people who were adopted, people who were in foster care. That's why these niggas is going to Becky then, dummy. Hello? Because y'all will just outright just say shit like that. And that shit is trash. I know you don't have a baby out of wedlock talking about some, if he grew up in foster care, then bitch, what? You ain't no fucking better. But I've heard these chicks saying shit like that. But then they want to talk about when they date out. Well, other women aren't going to just boldly say shit like that. That shit is trash. You could be raised with your mama and she could be a whole fucking mess. Tyler Perry was raised with his family, with his mama. He suffered a lot of abuse. You wouldn't date Tyler Perry? Shit. I go where the money resides, where the money resides, where the money resides. Okay. He can be wearing that HG wig all night long, baby. It is what it is. Okay, the bills is paid. Okay. Shit. What's up, ROA? Good to see you. Talk your shit. Okay. Vesuvius, Mount. God damn. I'm more top heavy, so I probably should have divested years ago. I was squatting heavy in the gym, trying to grow my butt. I could care less now. Yo, facts. I've had so many like non-black men. I've never had a black man ask me if my breasts were real. Well, actually, I have on social media, but not in real life. But in real life, non-black men are always like, they're like, I've had men gasp, you know, like, oh, they're real? I'm like, yes, they're real, baby. They're real. My lips are real. Okay, my lips are real. My breasts are real. My butt is real. Everything is real. But y'all want to talk about something. She got to be a size 4. I promise you, go ahead and be a size 4 for them, baby. They going to move that goalpost again. They going to move it again. She got to be a size 4. No weave, no makeup. I seen the women that adhere to that for y'all. Guess what? They ain't giving them nothing for doing all that. They ain't giving them nothing for that, you know? And everybody wears the same makeup nowadays, lashes and lip gloss. You know, I like beautiful, different type of eyeshadows and stuff. That's what I like. That's my thing with wearing makeup. You know, and my husband told me, he's like, I like it too. And, you know, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to do your makeup a certain way for anyone, you know, because I like the way you used to do your makeup, you know. Of course, he likes me. He prefers me without makeup. Because I think that when a man loves you, he doesn't care if you wear makeup, obviously, right? But the makeup is to get their attention, right? And it's for you to like have fun with. So I'm always gonna have fun with my makeup, and Dusty's coming over being like, you wear makeup. That don't mean shit to me. I have very clear skin. I go makeup free all the time in my videos on Patreon. But I don't owe nobody nothing over here. So you can do whatever they say, because I wasn't talking about these topics for a very long time. And that's why nobody was checking for me, because I wasn't talking about controversial topics. They weren't supporting my channel when I wasn't talking about this shit. They weren't supporting. If anything, it's more of them now. So miss me with that bullshit. Anyways, Percy, you made up a point about how did I reprogram my mind from my upbringing. Please check out my videos on foster care. You can just type in DanieSteel foster care in the YouTube search bar. And I have several videos on my experiences in foster care. I hope that will give you a starting point. But I will continue to talk about those things because it's a daily process. It's a daily process. America has a problem when it comes to this foster care system, but we're going to get into that, a different video, another day. Okay. But I want you to know that this is a channel that supports Fosties. I call us Fosties because we're cool. Okay. We're fucking awesome. We've gone through things other people would never live through. And we're fucking awesome because of it. My husband tells me all the time, I'm the most amazing woman he's ever met. Yeah, she got to have a good relationship with her dad. It's a lot of classism in the community. It's a lot of classism in the community. I also talk about that. You can type in DanieSteel classism. I'm one of the only people that does this, because most Black people that benefit from classism are not going to talk about that. And that's most of the content creators on here that y'all give all y'all money to, okay? So when you're divested, you need to understand that no one is going to thank you for pointing out their dysfunction. And you're not divested if you don't live a life that just automatically shows that you're divested. Okay? Why did I talk about this stuff if I was so happy with my man? Why did I blah, blah, blah? I already told y'all a billion fucking times. People came to my videos. I was trying to be on my Kelly stamps. Okay? Code switching the fuck. Okay? And people came to my videos constantly being like, "You traitor!" I was like, "A traitor for what? Bitch, I grew up in foster care. My dad abandoned me. The fuck are you talking about? I sacrificed my life for people who gave me nothing. What are you talking about? A traitor from what?" And unlike the typically suburban Black women who are on here happy and people come and call them a traitor, I wasn't going to let it slide. Because you know who's a fucking traitor? People that allow abusers to sit at the Thanksgiving table. People who don't want to see their kids do better than them and repeat these toxic cultural norms and cycles of abuse. People who don't want to tell a nigga, no, I don't want to meet you at your house. I prefer to go somewhere out so you can pay for the meal and I can leave. Because what's not going to happen is I meet up with you and you start kissing my neck. Now, that kissing the neck-ish, like I said, when you young and or when you have no intimacy in your life, right? And the only intimacy and the only affection you can get is when you're sexually interacting. You have to change your life so that you don't operate from that place. If you're not willing to do that, that's a problem. I talk about all the time how the likelihood of a child being abused goes up when you move in a non-biological male into the home with your child. And what do I see? Constantly women with children talking about some, I'm trying to date, I'm trying to date, I'm trying to date, I'm trying to date. Listening to y'all daddy, Kevin Samuels, okay? You need to focus on raising your child. You can date, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You have no business moving a man who is not biologically related to the child into your home because you fucked up. It's not fair to the child. I grew up during the crack cocaine epidemic, and a great aunt of mine got custody of me. And she was one of these women that would date. I've told you guys this story before, but for people that don't know it, she was dating this one guy, and his name was Tyrone. His name was Tyrone, okay? Can't make it up. And I was 9 years old. You want to talk about divested? I was 9 years old, and and this happened to me multiple times with men of different races targeting me because I was growing up in foster care and they knew I didn't have an advocate. But they didn't count on the one advocate that I do have, my motherfucking self. They weren't counting on that. They weren't counting on DanieSteel. So this guy named Tyrone, and I hope he's rotting in hell right now. I felt him targeting me. Period. I felt him targeting me. I felt him trying to groom me because I was a quiet child. And one day we were interacting and he was tickling me. Right? And I was 9 years old and I was like, stop tickling me. Right? I was like, leave me alone. That's what I said to him. And he said, you want me to leave you alone? I'll leave you alone. And he ignored me. This is a grown-ass man. He was in his 40s. He ignored me. I was 9 years old. You're not going to fucking come to my channel and talk about something. Why are you talking about this shit? I'm going to call out all of the dysfunction. I'm not on here making shit up and stealing talking points. Like a lot of these hoes. This nigga was trying to groom me, 9 years old. Then these fucking old ass content creator bitches. In their 30s, 40s, plus, trying to come to my channel trolling, telling us, why are you loud? Again, you're not divested if you're asking why I'm loud. I live in the suburbs, okay? Now, who's that peeking in my window? Nobody, because I live in a penthouse. I live in a gated community. I can be loud. If you lived outside of Blackistan, bitch, you would know that. You can know you could be loud. Ain't nobody coming knocking on my door. Ain't nobody asking me to be quiet. Ain't nobody calling the police on me. I don't live in an over-policed community. That's why I can be loud. And I'm going to be loud when it comes to this dysfunction. This nigga was trying to tickle me. I said, leave me alone. Ha! Becca, I deboed that nigga. I was like, leave me alone. He's like, I'll leave you alone. And what he did was proceed to take my siblings to places and you know, take them out to the Globetrotters and give them things and give them attention and ignore me, right? And he did this for months. He did this for months. After he was like hyper giving me attention, then he backed away and didn't give me any attention and would leave me home when I did nothing wrong. These men are sick. These men are fucking sick. You know who's more sick than these fucking bastards? The fucking ugly ass mammies, the old ass bitches looking for some raggedy ashy dick that let them come into the fucking home. And that's why I hope my great aunt who brought that nigga around me, I hope she's rotten in hell too. Bitch. He comes up to me after months of doing this and is like, this is what they want to do to you. They want you to be these fucking just dejected, right? Just, you know, I was so sad that he was treating me this way at 9 years old. I didn't understand what was going on. He was like, now, okay, do you realize now? It's, yeah, I'm sorry, you know. And he like, you know, gave me a hug or something. But I never interacted with him again after that. I was always like, no, I'll be to myself. I'll go to my room and draw. And then I have family members. Why are you always going in your room and by yourself? And bitch, if you want to be around these sloppy ass monsters, you go right the fuck ahead. I'm trying to survive. So divestment hurts. But what choice did I have? Be around that shit? Be around that shit? And the place I'm at now, the person I am today, I will beat in the, I don't give a fuck about a jail sentence. I don't give, oh my God. Okay. All right. I've gone too far. I've gone too far. I don't condone violence unless it's someone that abused you as a child. Then rip their fucking head off. destroy them by any means. Abusers must pay. And that's what my channel's here for. People that's actually been through some shit to know ain't none of that was none of our fault. No, it's these fucking abusers' fault. Divestment hurts. I divested from that shit and people gave me their ass to kiss. I called that great aunt and I asked her, I said, why did you? She was also physically abusive. And I charged her for what she did when she had custody of us. She eventually placed us into foster care. I was not taken from my mother's home. She told my mother that she would help, and then she placed us in foster care. She will rot in hell for what she did. She will burn for eternity. I don't give a fuck. And then you gonna bring that fucking roach around me? No, I keep a can of Raid. I keep a can of Raid. Ain't nobody reaching out to me asking for money because they already know the deal. If I had $10 million, I wouldn't give you motherfuckers a dime. I wouldn't. So what choice did I have? What choice? God gave me one opportunity in this life, a scholarship to a private school, education. That was it. That was it, baby. And I made that shit work. I'm supposed to apologize to you motherfuckers because I made it work. You can kiss my ass. It'll never happen. So how did I come to terms with that shit? Understanding that abusers are abusers. Abusers are trash, and abusers deserve to suffer. Not me. I'm going to make sure these abusers suffer. So anybody you ever meet out there tell you they're related to DanieSteel, you give them a double look. Because you be like, oh, what I know about DanieSteel is she raised herself. Her and her great grandmother. Rest of you niggas ain't do shit. Shit. The divestment movement is hilarious. My white boys and I quote, why do these black women get with us trying to make black men jealous? I told him attention and hurt feelings. Maybe it's true. You know, I can't relate to that. But I understand that the way that it looks like too legit to quit. Hey. I understand that's what it looks like. Hey, that's these bitches' fault. They out here looking like that. It's very clear that that's what it looks like. That's very clear. When you have a black child out of wedlock, when you constantly running around trying to get validation from the men you claim to not like, etc. When you make everything you talk about and all your talking points, I get it. As you can see, you can look at the content on my channel. I'm not about that life. And I'm pretty sure I know a lot more white boys than you do. And I'm pretty sure white men don't even know what any of this shit is. So I don't know what you're talking about with that. Just be honest, Too Black. Just be honest. Now, I gave a poll and I said, who talks about divestment outside of social media? Most people said none of us. So I find it hard to believe that you know white men of value who know about divestment. Okay? I find that hard to believe. The thing that makes me laugh the most is I know a few black women who have divested and they cheat with black men. Yeah. Yeah. I know this story about Tyrone about to be ratchet. Right. You see how what this gross old freak did to a child? You're not supposed to have non-biological men living with your child. Y'all don't want to be disciplined. Do you wonder why these dudes do all the shit that they do, right? I don't know who Jimmy Savile is. and I'm not sure what you're talking about. Again, I just told the story about a Tyrone because his name is Tyrone. Okay. And, I felt he was trying to groom me as a child. But yeah, divestment isn't something you get online and talk about to try to make men jealous. I don't have to try to make black men jealous. Black men always approach me. Black men approach me when I'm out with my husband. Okay, I told y'all before, I had a black man approach me. He was in a chicken suit in Times Square. Okay, no shame. Okay, but the point is, I always got the "you're pretty for a black girl" growing up from black and non-black men, right, and people in general, which I never understood because I always felt I just looked like a regular black woman. I didn't understand why people would say that, right? But yeah, the bottom line is I don't talk about it for that reason. And I know a lot of women do. And, they have to have somewhere to get together. Y'all leave a lot of them single mamas. Do you not? That's what I'm talking about. What you never will find is some bitter baby mamas club over here, because from the go, I will never be a baby mama. That's what happens when you divest from an early age. I will never be a baby mama. Okay? My husband will never have a life without me. I don't know how else to say it. My husband's not, no, I'm his wife. And he reminds me that every day. You are my wife. We belong together. Okay? Love story. You ever heard of it? Okay. So, my idea of divestment comes from truly divesting from anything that no longer serves me. That includes the women on here who did not divest, who steal my talking points. Okay. And honestly, I'm about to put this video on private because they just love to come over and steal my talking points. How you gonna steal my talking points? Well, I just showed y'all I divested from birth. These bitches can't show you that. But they have bigger audiences. Again, because they made fools of themselves at some point to get their very, very, very large audiences. Okay? When you work smart, you don't have to work hard. All right? Again, these women will come and steal my talking points. They won't shout out the channel when they've got tens of thousands of more subscribers than me. They won't shout out the channel because they're counting on the fact that nobody's watching my channel and everyone's going to watch them and think that it's them that are giving these talking points. But again, you look at the scoreboard. Babies with black men out of wedlock does not equal queen of divestment. Okay? Okay? And I'm not claiming to be queen of divestment. I'm me. But I hope that, younger women can learn from me, being very diligent about who I interacted with, dating with purpose. That's what I did. Anyone that didn't give me what I asked for, I never spoke to them again. There was no other chance. You don't get two chances with me. Maybe you do if you're a friend, but not on some romantic-ish, you know what I'm saying? But, these women are mad. I can only imagine. Again, going back to that video that Paris Milan posted of the black woman who, the baby daddy, he looked Afro Latino to me. He looked like a nigga that she just put up with because she wanted two pretty babies with good hair. I'm keeping it 100. I did not feel bad for that woman at all. She chose to lay up with his dusty ass twice. And I've known black women that have done that shit on some, I want my baby to have good hair. Okay, so your baby got good hair and you don't have any child support. Are you thrilled? Are you thrilled? What a life. Right? Or they got pregnant by the dude. Oh, now he gonna marry me. No, in the fuck he's not. No, in the fuck he's not. I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen sometimes they'll marry you, but they got to come from a very religious family with pressure from their family to do that shit. Just you sitting there with your eager eyes. Hungry eyes. With you just sitting there looking at him, hoping he gonna marry you. That doesn't make men marry you. I have the secret to getting a black man to marry you, ladies. Don't give birth to his child before he marries you. Now, he might not marry you before either. But what was the point of getting birth to his child? Because you think he's going to marry you? That you're not using your brain then. You're not divested. The statistics show that that's not going to happen. The statistics show. Y'all know anything about statistics? Don't be mad at me. Thumbs up the video and subscribe. Okay? Because it's a bad look. Like this Too Black is saying, that divestment means we're mad at black men. We're jealous of the women that I never been jealous of not one bitch a nigga has chosen. Period. Because I don't operate that way. And it's a bad look. Y'all crowning queens of divestment and you're clowning yourself in the meantime. I'm not telling you can't be divested and you can't be part of that club. Go ahead. But I'm telling you, if you're about that life, you live it. It radiates off of you. People can see it when they interact with you. And people aren't going to like you for it. That's one of the reasons I've never told anyone who they should or shouldn't date. I will never. I will never say, date this person, date that person. I'll say, open your options, practice your options, whatever they may be. Don't limit yourself. But I'm not going to tell you, do this or do that, because, it's hard out here. People love to be like, oh, they miserable in these interracial relationships. They miserable. I think poverty has its own type of misery, no? I think being with a man of your race who expects you to gel down your edges with baby hair, expects you to slay a wig so that it looks like, because it's not that they don't like wigs, it's they don't like the Candace Owens wigs. Candace Owens don't really wear wigs. Kimberly Classic. They don't like the wigs that, are obviously wigs, right? So they wanted to look like you slayed that 18-inch Brazilian, platinum blonde Brazilian wig, like it grew out your scalp. Let me tell you something. I ran my errands today with my little two braids, my little braids and my little Afro puffs. And yes, the community that I live in the suburbs, and dudes was checking. Okay? One, because I'm thicker than a Snicker. Okay, the curves is real. My mic is on. Okay. So, ain't no non-black man sitting there be like, why she don't have baby hairs? They're not doing it. They miserable in those interracial relationships. Y'all created a whole club called divestment because of your misery in the black roof. relationships that you were in. So, I mean, relationships carry a certain amount of misery. Let's be real. Stop focusing on black people doing shit that you're not doing and start focusing on your own raggedy ass lives. Interracial relationships are not easy. And I'm one of the only people that will say that and talk about that. But you know what is easy? Having my bills paid, gas always in the car, trash is always taken out, groceries are always in the fridge, heat, central cooling. Again, my mic is on. That's pretty easy. Yeah. You know, so everything has a price. I'm not willing to deal with hoops. I didn't have to jump through no hoops. I told my husband I grew up in foster care. When I first met him, I said, I grew up in foster care. I've had a hard life. I'm not a typical woman. He was intrigued. Okay. He wasn't like, well, I'll lie to her and pretend I love her so I can get sexual access. And then I'm dropping her off at the curb because my mama said, don't never be with no black woman with nappy hair. Oh, did your mama with the nappy hair say don't be with no black woman with nappy hair? Okay. Facts. My white college sweetheart is married to a dark-skinned black woman with 2 kids, and I had to explain divestment and colorism art. Exactly. Come on. And you see 2 black ain't had nothing to say after I told him, I know a lot of white guys. They don't know what divestment means. That's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of cap on here. I lived with one for 11 years. He don't know what divestment means. Okay, nobody's interested in the shenanigans that y'all play. You know, I see a lot of these divestment women. I'm like, this is foreplay for y'all. This is foreplay. This is your opportunity to interact with these men that otherwise wouldn't interact with you. By you saying, right, I'm gonna choose someone else. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm already there. I'm already there. You see the songs I be singing? I'm already there. I don't have to say I'm gonna do shit. Been there. I ain't waiting for nobody to get their act together. As hard as I've worked, you're either ready or you're not. Is you ready? No, they wasn't ready. Okay, well, somebody else is. Reminds me of that character from Being Mary Jane that got baby mamaed by a non-black guy to have right? Exactly. And they sitting up there, they'll be posted up with some bottom shelf Brad, mid shelf. Okay. Talking about something, it's better over here. You come over here and listen, you get around these Dwights with money, okay? They're gonna make you work for it. Okay? They are very cliquey. My husband, most of my husband's friends like him have 2 master's degrees and or PhD. I went to private school my whole life on scholarship, growing up in the hood. Code switch queen up in these streets. When you dealing with men that grew up in private schools, coming from families with money, they're not looking to be inviting your black ass on over. That's why these black men date Becky's, also bottom shelf Becky's. It is. That is why. Because a white woman I remember when I was in high school, a white girlfriend of mine started dating a black guy. And I was talking about it I wasn't talking about it because I was black. One of her white girlfriends and her white girlfriend's mother were talking to me about it. And you know what they said? They said, we got our eye on him. We're watching him. That's what they said. I never heard them say this girl was a hoe. This girl was a hoe. And I never heard them say that about no other dude she dated. We got our eye on him. They gotta go. Listen, huh? So they'll be over there telling you with their mid-level, bottom shelf Brad, oh yeah, it is so much better over here. And we doing this and that. Bitch, I'm not trying to get into middle-class society. I'm sorry. Shout out to the middle class, okay? But I've already been there. Okay? That's not a place I aim for. Okay? So when you're aiming for the best, people aren't just gonna let you have that. Okay? I mean, my husband's mama was fighting me for him like that was her man. I was like, bitch, what the fuck? He gonna choose me every time. You done your job. Move along. Move around. Fuck out of here. But one thing I will never do is come here and be like, we have a savior over the fence. They saving us. Ain't nobody gonna save you, black woman, but yourself. You ready? You willing to do the work? No. So go keep listening to these lying assholes telling you that you can go somewhere and the social dilemma that these men have worked so hard to ensure that you are in is just completely ignored. These men have worked overtime to tarnish your image. Now they mad that the tables are turned. And see, again, that's not being smart. You think that they're flirting with you. What they're doing is tarnishing your image the way that you've tarnished black women's image. That's what they're doing. It's a tit for tat. And now it's y'all turn. But see, y'all think it's foreplay. Y'all think it's funny. Y'all think it's cute. No, what they're doing is, instead of, what a man, like they did in the 90s, now they're saying all the stuff that they're saying now. And that's being reflected in the media. Niggas ain't shit, can't pay rent. That's being reflected. And you don't have what a man songs anymore because y'all didn't want to keep doing those songs they was doing in the 60s and 70s, asking for it. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Oh, is that Chili's? Chili's, baby back ribs. Yeah. Barbecue sauce. Okay, what they doing to y'all is what was done to the black women. And you're just tarnishing each other's image. And you don't get to do that and then walk out into the real world and have no consequences of that. But see, y'all don't understand shit about consequence. That's why you can say what you want about my channel, but one thing I'm not going to do is disempower black people on my channel. I'm going to talk about the dysfunction. But I'm not going to fucking make life harder than it already is for some fucking clicks. The way everybody else on here is going to do. Because as my husband reminds me when I'm like, why don't people have, solidarity with, and he's like, baby, they got bills to pay. They're supporting families. They hold rent. They got to pay rent and shit. So no, they're not gonna acknowledge that they're stealing talking points from you. Right? And just messing each other up, really. I'm not here to mess anybody up. I'm here to enlighten, educate, empower, and have an entertaining time while we do so. So yeah, somebody probably gonna try to steal my talking points on this video. So I think I'm gonna put it on private. Because that shit is crazy. And if y'all in a space and y'all see somebody saying something that y'all know y'all heard, but for my lived experience here on this channel, y'all need to call them out. Straight up. Because the shit don't make no sense. Like, how'd you come up with that when your life doesn't reflect it? So how did you come up with it? Fuck out of here. We don't do it to make black men jealous. Shaking my head. Women are just waking up and realizing these struggle love relationships aren't good for our health. And you know what, KG3, you're one of the women that's doing it for the right reasons. No struggle of relationship is good for your health. That's why a lot of women who were like, I'm gonna go to Brad, they ended up with bottom shelves, and they ended up playing themselves yet again, right? Because they don't know how to vet and they don't know how to move strategically. When you put yourself first and you divest from everything that no longer serves you, you can't be around men who would put you in precarious situations, men that are going to try to play you. You can't, because the way you live won't allow it. And anyone on my channel, certainly talking about divestment, that's what we're on, right? It's just understanding this shit ain't healthy. That shit is not healthy. Y'all think that shit is cute, and it's not. And when you know better, you do better. A lot of these women don't know better. You know? As women get older, do they value bills getting paid over looks? Of course. Of course. You know? Look, I had some very attractive men hit on me. Very attractive. And that don't mean shit to me. You know? When I think about interacting with men, I think about the cost of pregnancy and child labor, the consequences of sexual interactions with people, the consequences to that shit. So, I mean, it's not money. I'm someone that's been around people with money, certainly more money than me, my whole life. Much more money than me, right? I've had guys interested in me who, you know, I had a trust fund baby guy interested. Trust fund baby guy, right? And, you know, he was Dwight. Okay. And he lived like the floor he lived on in the apartment he lived in Manhattan, his family owned the whole floor. So there was like 3 or 4 apartments on that floor. His family owned all of them. He didn't pay rent. He gonna try to hit me up after I got with my husband. Nigga, bye. My husband not a trust fund baby. He worked his ass off. I'd rather be with a man that worked for it than some trust fund ass baby who, you know, he had a shitty personality, to be honest. The entitlement reeked. I don't want to be around that shit. So it's not just money. It truly is the character of the man. And a man with character wants to build for the family he wants. If you don't want a family, move to Pompeii, celebrate the phallus, and have the time of your life. Y'all don't have to have families. Y'all don't have to interact with women. There's other options out there. And men have practiced these options for a very long time. Okay? But if you want to interact with a woman, it's the same thing if a woman wants to interact with a man. You know, I hear a lot of women being like, but I'm a kind woman. Nobody cares. Men don't care. Men don't care. All right? Men put looks first. All right? Except for gold digging men, and of whom there are many, of all races. I've met them. And there are men out there who will choose a woman because she comes from money and or has money, and he wants that money. I don't care what Kevin Samuels told y'all. So, you know, people have options out here, but no matter who you are, male or female, you need to move strategically so that you're not sitting around blaming other people for your life. You know, I called out abusive people, but I'm not going to be like, I blame them for it because I'm living good. So in spite of those people, because I knew I would, because I'm going to manifest what's for me, and that's what the Purpleprint is all about. If you check out the Purpleprint playlist, and I see you guys are doing that. So you're moving smart. All right. The Purpleprint playlist is the only playlist, all right, on YouTube dedicated for women who have a true divestment mindset, start to finish, that has nothing to do with talking about who some nigga is laid up with all day. Okay? Nothing to do with that. Because I'm not interested. The only reason I bring it up is to point out the hypocrisy and the inconsistencies. I've told you guys before, I think my husband would be very disturbed if I was online talking about other men all day. I think that would disturb my husband. I don't think he would like that. And the fact that people are on here being like, I's married. Bitch, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. There's no way. Not talking about these niggas all day. There's no way. That is not divestment. It's not. But again, that's what they want it to be. That's what they, that's the clubs and have at it. I think that everyone deserves a space for what they're looking for. And again, I think a lot of these women are angry and they have a right to vent. I do. So that's why I'm not saying that these women's groups shouldn't exist. But, everyone loves to come on here and talk about what divestment is and what it isn't. Now I'm saying what it is for me. Like I've said a million times. That's why they stole my fucking talking points. Ugh. It's just so trashy to me. Like stealing people's talking points. Oh, whatever. Again, you can't come to me and be like, oh, well, you stealing what Brooklyn Blue said about Black women empowerment. Brooklyn Blue wasn't talking about divestment. Brooklyn Blue wasn't talking about living life in an interracial relationship, living in the suburbs and maneuvering. Everybody knows that she lives in New York City. That's not a suburb. I know I lived there for years. We're not talking about the same things. None of these women are talking about how to avoid being a baby mama. I just gave y'all the blueprint, the Purpleprint. Discipline. Discipline. Saying no. Oh my goodness. My husband just texted me, what are you wearing right now? You see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about? This is what men do. Right? And I didn't know that this is how men were. Right? This is how guys are. So if you want to be with a guy, you have to understand how men are. If you want to be with a woman, you have to understand how women are. And that's something they don't want to do in this manosphere realm, right? That's something they don't want to do in Blackistan. And they don't have to because y'all keep giving birth to their children without demanding marriage. They're going to keep blaming you for it. So in order to avoid ever being a single mother and then on top of it, some guy blaming me for it, you know what I did? Just said, you know what? Never going to be a single mother. How about that? I'm always going to make sure protection is involved. Vetting is involved. I don't care what you like, and I don't care what feel good for you. It don't feel good. He said it don't feel good. So, bitch, why are you online now complaining? You was laughing and giggling, talking about so he don't like it. He don't like protection. I don't give a fuck. I'm not donating to your GoFundMe when you're looking for money for baby clothes and shit. That's his job, not mine. I'm building my own shit over here. And again, I've told you guys before, this is why Black people can't never build nothing. This is why our wealth numbers are so low. Because when you get someone making money, what happens? Oh, I got to give money to everybody. Growing up in foster care ensured I never have to give a dime to nobody. And I never will. Bump, bump, bump. I already did that. I used to be at the bank twice a week giving money to this one and that one. Spent my Christmas money giving them shit. Since the past 2 going on 3 years, that I haven't interacted with my family, I have so much more stuff. I have so much more stuff, you know? Just little things that I want to get for myself, I would never get. Soon as you get your money up, here they come. Try to make you feel bad about something. Try me. Try me. Nobody's getting shit from me ever fucking again. Foster care ensured that, and betraying ass, backstabbing ass, want to live mentally in Blackistan people ensured that. Ain't nobody ever did shit for me. And I'm going to give that reciprocity. But see, they're counting on you. I have people being like, oh yeah, take his money and do this and do that. And you know, you're going to give us this. What? You think me and my husband are working so that you can lay up with any fucking nigga? No, you can lay up with any dusty you want. But bitch, you're going to pay for the consequences of it. Not me, not whole family, not big mama, not grandma, raising the kids. No. I told y'all before, my great grandmother told me, if you bring a child to this house, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill it. Okay? My grandmother was not playing. She was not for play. Because she was tired of taking care of other people's kids, and she told me that. Did she love us? Yes. But damn, why she got to take care of her kids, her grandkids, her great-grandkids? Fuck no. I just broke that fucking cycle. That will never continue. That cycle will never continue around me. With my family, my children. They're going to understand you're to raise your own fucking kids. You laid up and had them. See, a lot of these women, they count on your sympathy of caring about a mother and her children. Bitch, why you ain't count on the sympathy of the nigga you fucked? They don't care who the nigga is, right? I just want a baby. I've had Black women tell me that. I don't care who he is. I just want a baby. If you don't care who he is, then can you make sure he has some money so you're not asking me? Since you don't care. Have some fucking discipline. A kiss on the neck don't mean shit if it ain't got no fucking coin behind it. Start feeling like that shit is gross. Somebody being around you, trying to take from you and not give you anything in return. Start having the mentality, that's gross. Because that's the mentality that I have. And it served me well. And if I never see people who disrespected me, try to take advantage of me, abuse me again, I don't care. I don't care. I am happier now than I've ever been. I am more mentally sound now than I've ever been. Divestment hurts. It might just be you when the day is done. You might look in the mirror and you don't have no family. You ain't got no friends. It's just you. It's just you. I had to divest from, a lot of non-Black people who were friends. Because I'm not going to sit here and tolerate disrespect of my Blackness, of my people, when I told your fucking ass you're to respect me the way you respect everybody else. You can't figure that shit out? Kick rocks. I'm more mentally sound now than I've ever been. I have more clarity now than I've ever had. Because I'm focusing on me. That's what happens when you divest from Blackistan, from things that no longer serve you. You invest in yourself. I divested from what this country thinks Black women should be doing. Okay? People smile at me. I don't smile back. I don't owe you a smile. I don't owe you a smile. I don't owe you that you feel comfortable and safe around this Black person. Then feel unsafe. Feel unsafe. What does it feel like? Huh? You see what I'm talking about? And most people is not even ready to live outside of Blackistan. Y'all not ready to live outside of Blackistan? A lot of folk that want to claim to be the queens of divestment. Again, having money, having possessions doesn't make you divested. There's plenty of Black people living in the suburbs, plenty of Black people with a lot of money, and their mentality is very Blackistani. Okay? And whenever you see a woman adhering to men first, I don't care what man it is, unless it's your husband, that's the only man that I'm going to submit to. The only man. The only man I'm going to consider is my husband. Women that are constantly centering other men, I don't care who they are. Like I said, red and yellow, black and white, it don't matter. That's not divested. Divested is divested from things that no longer serve you, putting yourself first. It's people on here that need severe therapy, severe mental help. And they're telling you they got it all figured out because y'all pay their bills. That doesn't make them have it all figured out because y'all pay their bills. So they got to come on here and act a fucking fool and put up people talking to them any old kind of way and say whatever the fuck they want to them so they can get a check for a fucking check. That's not divested. Okay. A girl, I hear she still beds. So I definitely ain't talking about the same thing. Who? I said, what are you talking about, my world? You know what? Don't worry about it. I might know. We definitely ain't talking about the same thing, baby. Oh, we definitely ain't talking about the same thing. And you know what? Like I said, to each their own, But you got people on here telling y'all to not give birth when they've already given birth. I think that's sick. Then the shit that they was telling y'all to do 5 years ago, now it's a new crowd, and they're going to pretend they wasn't saying to do that. Yes, the fuck they were, because I was here 5 years ago, too. I was here 5 years ago, and they was doing that shit 5 years ago. Lying. Yep. I'll be clear, if I ever got pregnant, I'm getting out of her house. Yep. Guess who never got pregnant? Thank you, period. Like, you can't tell a teenager what to do. I told y'all, whenever a woman's giving bad advice, she always has a raspy voice. You can't tell a teenager gonna do what they want to do. Then you'll be on the streets. Now, how about that? Because why we can't take care of the past 18 and help the kids out? Any kid under my roof, 18, 19, you're going to follow my rules. If and you don't like it, hit the road, Jack. You grown. Ain't nobody fucking in my house but me. Okay? And that's point blank in the fuck, period. I know a lot of women are like, my mom kicked me out when I had a baby. I had to figure it out on my own. Okay, I'm pretty sure she told you not to be fucking in her house or be fucking, period. I'm pretty sure she told your ass that. And that's why. Because teenagers, young people, young women, the younger you are, the likelihood of you getting pregnant is almost instantaneous. And who's going to take care of that baby? You are. You are. I'm not taking care of nobody's baby. My grandmama said it to me, and that's a rule I live by. I'll say it again. They're not going to marry you after you allow them to knock you up. They're not going to. So move along from that talking point. You might not get the affection. Divestment hurts. Divestment hurts. Divestment hurts. You're not going to get someone to marry you by allowing him to impregnate you. I don't care what he said. You need to move smart, okay? If you don't move smart, then what are you complaining about? No, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Everything is coddling. Everyone must be coddled. You can't tell a teenager what to do. A teenager gonna do the exact opposite, says someone who, when they were a teenager, was running around doing the exact opposite. You can follow the fucking rules. People of other ethnicities and races do it all the time. I've taught grade school level for over a decade. You know how many Middle Eastern Muslim students I've had who were like, no, I can't date. If my dad comes in and right now and sees me talking to this boy, he's going to be upset. I can't date until I graduate. They're not testing that shit out. They come from cultures where you don't play on that shit. We should be able to do whatever the hell we want. Then do it. But now you got people out here conflating what your ass is doing to what I'm doing. We are not the same. We are not the same. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're in the room, please. Now you got people out here thinking what I'm talking about is what you're talking about. Fuck. What Tina Turner, Anime Bullock say? Mama say, ain't nobody sitting in this house but me. Hallelujah. Okay. Shit. Point blank, period. It's not how many black girls have to raise and be responsible for themselves. The only advice we received is keep your legs closed and don't get pregnant. How the fuck is that supposed to help? Yeah, you know what? That's some of the only advice I received. That's some of the only advice I received. And from that, let me tell you something. Like I said, I'll be the first one to say it. I didn't date until I was 22. I'm not encouraging that. I think it would be great if women can get themselves in a spot, in a place where when they're 18, they can be mentally prepared to date. I think that would be great. That's something that I'm going to try to do with my children. You see what I'm saying? And be very sex positive. I'm very sex positive. I'm not here to shame nobody. I'm very sex positive. But you got to do it right. You got to be strategic. And you got to take care of yourself. And you got to make sure you're not bringing children into this world that you can't provide for. You know? I think that, and that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. I'm trying to help, women. I know women in their 20s that have never dated, in their mid 20s. I know women in their mid 30s, early mid 30s, that basically only dated like once when they were like, 18, and then they haven't dated again. Right? Because there's this shut up and keep your legs closed, ho, kind of mentality about things. Right? Well, we know contraception exists. You don't even, you don't even have to use birth control if you understand your menstrual flow and use contraception, right? If people are worried about these very toxic, dangerous methods of birth control, right? I'm not going to tell anyone how to practice contraception, but safe sex should always be the goal. Safe sex, safe. Mutual, right? Keeping yourself safe, making sure you don't bring a child into a situation where you're going to be repeating the same shit that happened to you. I don't understand how people can do it, and it blows my mind. You look at the deadbeat daddy crisis in the community, and the fact that these men could perpetuate the same cycles that were perpetuated onto them is mind-boggling. But you know who helped them? Women that chose to be single mothers and perpetuate. How can a woman choose to be a single mother? I'm telling you how. Him not putting a ring on your finger. If he doesn't give you a ring, he's given you nothing. And by ring, I mean a marriage certificate. Okay? The ring might not be that much. A marriage don't make a man, blah, 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 blah. And yet y'all have such a hard time getting men away from their wives. Marriage don't make a man, blah, 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 blah. Yet, there's so many women out here constantly trying to get a man away from his wife. It's, why would you mess with a man who has no loyalty? Why would you mess with a man that doesn't value marriage? Let's start there. You have to figure out if he values marriage. You have to figure out by vetting, by being strategic. That's what I'm saying. It's not something, divesting is a verb. And it's not something that happens out of thin air. It takes work. How can you make a man stay to be a father? You can't. So if you don't know he's going to stay, don't make him a father. It's all hard work. It really is. I did not have fun as a kid. I didn't have a childhood. Because I knew if I end up pregnant, these little kids coming up behind me are going to be looking at that. And mama and daddy might not have done right by us, but I'm going to do right by us. And I switched my mentality to us, worried about kids I didn't give birth to. I did not have a fun childhood. I did not have a childhood. because my parents decided that they wanted to do whatever they wanted to do, right? And my mom would be quick to say that exact thing, ROA. Keep your legs closed. About, I'm like, bitch, why you didn't keep your legs closed? I mean, I know we married, but the fuck, this nigga ain't shit. Right? I'm with a man that I know is not abusive, is not going to use drugs, things like that. He cares about building. He cares about his family. You have to figure that out about these men first. That's why I urge y'all to practice the Pacey approach. I have to know you, sir. Bitch ass sir, right? I have to know you. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get what call it the Spice Girls approach. You gotta get with my friends. Okay? Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. We call it the Spice Girls approach. You gotta really gotta zig. That means you gotta be friends. I gotta know who you are. I'm gonna vet. I'm gonna talk to your mama. And I'm not gonna let some idea of love, because the person I need to be loving the most in this relationship is me, hinder that. Because when I put myself first, I'm putting my children first. And not putting yourself first, like, I need a man. I want a man. No. Moving smart. Right? So I know it's hard, ROA, without a doubt. I hope that we can have conversations on this channel to clarify. But if you think you can divest and you sitting easy, you doing the same shit, you move the same way you've always moved, you move the same way you always moved, but now you just saying, oh, I don't fuck with those type of dudes. That's not divestment. That's not divestment. No, it's not. It's a lifestyle change. It's a whole fucking change. You are literally giving birth to yourself when you divest. And that is painful. That's why I won't let nobody fuck with me, because I've worked too hard. You see what I'm saying? But we're definitely, that's what we're going to be working on here, because I completely understand. I empathize with that. I do, and I'm sure it's like, for me to be like, don't be bringing no kids in my house. It's like, oh my God, reminds me of what my mama said, right? But your elders are trying to help you best way they can. Best way they can. You take what advice you can from them, and then you keep it moving. "23 years, be single for 6 years, too scared of abusive men. I don't want to end in true crime." So you're 23 years old, you've been single for 6 years. And you're young, and I'll tell you the honest truth. I did the same thing, baby. I did the same thing. I was like I said, I don't know these dudes. I don't trust these dudes. I had has-been actor try to slide in my DMs. I won't say much more about it at this point, but what I will say is, when it happens, I Googled him, because I was like, what the hell? I'm trying to talk with him on some business-ish. He slid in the DMs. I immediately turned it to business. But of course, that's not what men want, right? And I couldn't believe it, because I was like, what the fuck? When I share this story, and you know, the short conversation that we had, I was like, this man is dangerous. This man is dangerous. And I know I'm not going over there because I'm good. But he's going to try this with another black woman. Okay? This non-black actor that knows that black women find him attractive. He's going to try this with another black woman, and I fear for her. I have to do a whole video on it one day, y'all. But you know, if I get a bad feeling, you're out of here. And I get a bad feeling about a lot of guys, you know, where you're just like, whoa. You know, I was telling my husband when we first started dating, I had a guy friend who I used to, you know, sleep in the bed with him when we were in undergrad, in college, just because you're young and you don't care, right? And then after I started seeing my husband, he was my boyfriend at the time. This guy was like, "Oh, you can just sleep in the bed with me." I was like, "Oh, hell no. What the fuck?" You know, and it's just like they really try to get you in situations, and I never went to his place again, right? Because I'm like, why would you try to put me in that situation? Like, I'm a woman. I have to take care of myself. At that moment, I realized I shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't even be here because he knows good and damn well I'm in a relationship, right? Disrespect. So I definitely understand. You got mama saying keep your legs closed. You got these crime shows out here constantly showing you the ramifications of interacting with unstable, abusive men, entitled men. And men are entitled. That's the other kind of weird, scary thing. Men are entitled. They feel entitled to women. So, you know, you got to protect yourself. You know, I come across with a certain type of strength that I don't apologize for because I want men to know under no uncertain terms, I will protect myself. You gonna end up Lorena Bobbitt it. It's not a problem for me. Okay, that's not a problem for me. Don't come sneaking up behind me, trying to tickle me, none of that. All right? Because I follow the book of Lorena Bobbitt. All right, you'll be in the backyard looking for your member. I'm gonna protect myself. You know, and of course, when you come off like that, because I grew up in Blackistan, I grew up in foster care system, I grew up, you know, deadbeat daddy, completely unprotected. Oh, men don't want that. They want a soft woman that's gonna. But okay, well, go get her and get the fuck out of my face, because this is who I'm gonna be. This is who I'm gonna be. Okay, you know. And I don't apologize for it. I just don't. And you know what? It ain't slow down the probably slow down some of the requests, but all it does by me presenting myself as a woman who won't tolerate a man trying to take advantage of me, all it does is definitely weed out the men who are only interested in knocking the mic all around. It weeds out the men that are only interested in taking advantage of you. So again, divestment hurts. You might not get a ton of offers the way other women get a ton of offers. You might not be constantly in relationships. You have to be fine with that because you're divested and you're focusing on winning. You're focusing on mutually beneficial relationships where reciprocity is involved and you're not doing all the labor. One of my Sans was a virgin until marriage, and she was 40. Wow. I was so proud of her. On the other hand, I was put on the pill at 14 by my mom, so I wouldn't be a teenage mom. Yeah, they tried to put me on the pill too because I was in foster care. And I was like, no, I'm good. Thank you. They're like, well, to regulate your period. I was like, stop trying to tell me what to do. I'm telling y'all what I'm doing. All right. I'm not, okay. We're closed for business. Because I don't trust nobody. Never. Okay. Um, and yeah, since I was a teenager, they would always test me, right? For diseases or whatever. And it was always clean, baby. It was always clean, baby, because I know. No, I'm protecting myself. You don't have to worry about that. I don't need you to put me on a pill. I said no, and said no to guys that even I want to say yes to because I didn't feel safe within myself. And I think that sucks. I think that sucks that I know there's a lot of Black women out there that do that have said no. I've had some fine, all right. I had this one dude, I mean, Henry Cavill, baby. He had the Henry Cavill body type. Okay. All right. Not a hair in sight. And I remember in undergrad, I went over to his room, to hang out. I hung out with a lot of guys, like I said, in college. And I thought because they wanted to be my friend. I'll talk about that in another video, but they don't. They don't want to be your friend, right? They're trying to hook up. Anyways, this boy opened the door. He was in his towel. I said, God damn, that's the first time I realized. Okay. Do you understand? I went to this boy's door. We were friends. Yeah, I didn't think about what men looked like with their shirts off or whatever. I didn't even think because I was a virgin. And I didn't think about that stuff. And I didn't care, right? I was like, friendship. I was a very bizarre younger person, okay? I was not like, I'm not a boy crazy person, right? I went to this boy's room to hang out. He had just got out the shower. He opened the door. I said, my God in heaven, what? My God is an awesome God. He's an awesome God. My God, And I think, unfortunately for him, he probably hooked up with the wrong type of women, because he couldn't get D. I wasn't ready to date. I wasn't ready to date because, God damn, with a body like that, whew. But the point is, I wouldn't be where I am today if I had engaged in a relationship with him. And that is the bottom line. And I want to be where I am today. I like the woman I've fought hard to become. But yeah, you're going to miss out on some relationships. Okay? Okay, all right, that's enough. God damn, I'm sitting over here. All right, thinking about that too much. Who is the actor? I just get into the conversation now. I can't tell you that, Star Sky. Not yet. Not yet, because I'm going to do a whole video on it. He's a has-been, so he's not someone that, does a lot today. He doesn't work much today, but he is an actor that Black women like. I will put it that way. That's all I can tell you guys. Watch out for him, because this guy was aggressive. And his reputation is not a reputation of a man that I would be alone with. Period. Period. I don't know what it is, but guys with like really like great bodies, like hitting on me. Oh, I had a crush on a fat guy once. Yes, I did. Cause see, I don't care about looks. I really more care about like if he can make me laugh. Like I'm like one of those people. So I had a crush on a fat guy for a couple of minutes, and it was the last fat guy I ever had a crush on because I had a crush on a couple of fat guys before. One was a lighter skinned black guy when I was in middle school. He was funny, and the other was a fat white guy. Which like, come on. Anyways, this fat white guy was like he was trying to hook up with everybody. I was like, you big fat bitch. Like, you trying to sit up here trying to hook up with everybody and then you trying to hook up with D? Fuck out of here. And he was like, did I ever say, this is what he said to me. He said, did I ever say I only liked just you? I said, oh, hell no. I will never let a fat motherfucker think that I would ever do anything with him ever again. Because I didn't do anything with this guy. But the point is, I let him be flirty and shit. Girl. He was acting worse than any man I've ever had hit on me. And they had like perfect bodies, like my husband has a great body. He only drinks water. He's very, I've taken a lot of pictures of my husband naked because he has a great body, So I'm like, oh, all right. Anyways, oh God damn, I keep thinking about these great bodies and stuff. What's wrong with me? All right. Anyways, sometimes hormones take over, but you still have to learn discipline. Exactly. And that's all that I'm emphasizing for you guys is practice discipline. Yes, sometimes hormones take over. I'm the type of person, if we start making out and he starts kissing on the neck, all bets are off. So you will be vetted like crazy before I let it get to that. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to know yourself and put yourself first. A lot of times girls have sex with guys on the first date because they feel like that's what the guy expects. You know what I'm saying? You got to change that mentality. Who cares if that's what he expects? Who cares? And if he doesn't want to date you again, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? I've dated guys who I didn't sleep with them. I don't care what they wanted. I wanted shit too, and I didn't get it. So, boop. You know what I'm saying? Know your worth. Invest in yourself. And stop worrying about catering to some guy on a first date. You're not going to get a high quality guy if you sleep with guys on the first date. Very rarely will that happen. Okay? Very rarely. I'm a man and I hear these guys talking about soft and feminine, but in real life, they trying to holler at big butt Keisha around the way. Exactly, Percy. I like you. Percy. I appreciate you being here. Exactly. I mean, everyone's always like, white guys like skinny women or fit women. Yeah, but they be checking me out too. Okay. You know what I said? I just saw one checking me out this morning when I was running my errands. Natural hair, no makeup. He see the body. He see what's up. Okay, he got to understand it. And as if you're not new to my channel, I'm working on getting back to a lower weight. Much lower than I'm at right now. And then I've been coming along steadily. But when I was at like my lower weights, which you can see in my earlier videos on this channel, right? I missed having, right now I've got very large breasts. And I missed having large breasts. I was very used to having large breasts. I always had large breasts. You lose weight, you lose fat. and your breasts get smaller, you know? And I wasn't used to being a C cup, you know? So even a small D, you know, we triple D's around here. And I would look at women that were larger than me after I lost weight, and I would be very envious of their curvaceous bodies. So I think that, it depends on the person. Of course, attractive bodies always get your attention. You can have an attractive body and, be a curvier woman, obviously. So, especially when you're black. And for black men to be out here being like, you gotta be a size 4. Again, like I told y'all, go ahead and be a size 4. They gonna be checking for Keisha with the big butt around the way, without a doubt. Yeah, right. These men are confused. Exactly. They just, a lot of them just don't like women. And there is a place for men like that. And that place is Pompeii. Okay. The city of the phallus. All right. You can go to Pompeii. All right. Create a new Pompeii for yourselves. All right. And just hook up with other guys that don't like women. Right? Because I have a lot of gay male friends. I love, my gay men followers over here, my Steelies. They love women a lot more than a lot of these straight guys with all of their hoops and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe guys that hate guys should just get together and be with each other. They always talk about talk about getting a dog. Maybe y'all just need to get each other if y'all just hate women so much that women can't be women. That women, this one guy on Twitter said, I took a screenshot of that. Oh my God, I have to see if I can find it. He had a list of things that men don't like, and obviously he's talking about black men because he was a black man, and he was like wigs, weaves, makeup. This man said menstruation. You don't like that women have periods? You don't like women. You need to go to Pompeii. You need to build a new Rome. You need to build Pompeii with your buddies. You sound crazy, bruh. Absolutely crazy. And I think that when you don't like women, you can come up with a bunch of things that they should do that don't make no goddamn sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't like women. I didn't respond to my husband asking me what I'm wearing. What are you wearing right now? What I was wearing when you left? God damn. Like we left the house at the same time when I went to run errands. I got my little tan tank top and yoga pants on, keeping it cute. What does he want me to say? Like a tank top and yoga pants? God, men, this is what I'm talking about. Then I have to sit up here as a woman and be like, I don't know. Y'all tell me what should I tell my husband I'm wearing? I'm wearing a tank top and yoga pants, but Jesus. Pompeii. That's right. Get thee to Pompeii. Okay? If you don't like women, because women require different things than men. Why they want money? Women require different things than men. If you want to have sex with someone that's not going to require you to have money, go to Pompeii. Okay? Get thee to Pompeii. Okay? The flight is going to be a lot. All right? It's going to be an expensive flight. Okay? But yeah, this has been a great conversation. I've been talking with y'all for a long time. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk some more. Definitely watch out for upcoming videos. Shout out to my top tier Steelies over on Patreon. I appreciate y'all support. Top tier Steelies over on Patreon get access to me in a way that no one else does. It just is what it is. I share a lot more of my personal life and private moments including dates that I go on, very expensive dates and very, very nice places that I also don't see other women who claim to be divested showing y'all, stuff like that. Okay. So definitely check out my Patreon if you're interested. I'd love to have you over there. Appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Very, very soon. You guys rock. This was a fun one. Take care. Have a great day. Talk to y'all later. Me.